On the first day of August in the year 2060, the world was gripped by a mysterious cosmic phenomenon known as the Cambrian Storm, which had already enveloped the blue planet for a month. Lin Yi, cocooned within the confines of his home, trembled as he fumbled for his phone to send a message to his goddess, Wang Xue. "Xue, I have 2 bags of instant noodles at home. If you're hungry, feel free to come and take some." Wang Xue was Lin Yi's university classmate, and from the moment he laid eyes on her during their freshman orientation, she struck him as an ethereal beauty. Henceforth, Lin Yi devoted himself to being her unwavering guardian, earning the title of a devoted admirer. Over the course of 4 years, Wang Xue cycled through numerous boyfriends, yet Lin Yi remained steadfast by her side. Each time she faced heartbreak, he was the first person she turned to. Lin Yi relished his role as her protector, believing that his genuine affection would one day touch her heart, leading to a romantic culmination. As time flew by, upon graduating from university, Lin Yi learned that Wang Xue had no place to stay, prompting him to relinquish the 3-bedroom apartment his parents had prepared for him. He moved upstairs to reside with his parents, allowing Wang Xue to make herself at home. Their 4-year friendship had accustomed her to his selfless devotion. Not only did Wang Xue move in, but her 2 close friends, Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang, also benefited from her hospitality. Lin Yi took on the responsibility of covering all their utilities and maintenance fees, finding profound joy in simply having Wang Xue near him. In the 2nd year following Lin Yi's graduation, tragedy struck when his parents perished in a car accident. The loss left him with 2 properties and over 2 million in savings. With his family gone, Lin Yi cherished Wang Xue even more. Becoming almost entirely compliant with her whims, he endeavored to fulfill even her most unreasonable requests. However, on the 1st of July, 2060, at the stroke of 1 in the morning, Lin Yi was jolted awake by an unrelenting chill. The icy wind that seeped through his window sent shivers down his spine. In a daze, he slipped on his shoes and approached the window, only to be rendered speechless by the sight before him. The vast floor-to-ceiling window was encrusted with frost, and outside, snowflakes danced through the air, accompanied by the howling winds, rubbing his eyes to dispel any illusions. Lin Yi hurriedly secured the window and returned to his bedroom to check his phone. Realizing it was not winter, a storm of anxiety surged within him. June had just concluded, and the weather had been somewhat warm. The sudden blizzard left him bewildered. The thermometer on the television cabinet read 5 degrees above zero, and he distinctly recalled the indoor temperature being 26 degrees just hours earlier. In disbelief, he opened the property management group chat, discovering that many others had also been awakened by the frigid air, discussing the unexpected snowstorm. Relieved, Lin Yi called Wang Xue, and upon confirming her safety at home, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. After a night passed, the heavy snowfall showed no signs of abating. Lin Yi, along with numerous neighbors, descended to the lobby, only to discover that the first floor had been inundated by nearly a meter of snow. Many residents ventured out to procure supplies. Should this weather persist, they risked being trapped in their homes. Lin Yi donned his thickest clothing and prepared 2 burlap sacks before stepping outside. Despite the considerable accumulation of snow and the drastically reduced visibility, he resolved to brave the elements to prevent Wang Xue from going hungry. Fortunately, a supermarket was located not far from his building. With great effort, Lin Yi and a few neighbors finally reached the market. After filling his 2 bags with provisions, he returned home with a sense of fulfillment. He took 1 bag to his room and delivered the other to Wang Xue's residence on the 13th floor. Upon knocking, he was greeted by Wang Xue's friend, Zhang Qian. Upon realizing Lin Yi's purpose, Zhang Qian accepted the food and promptly closed the door. Lin Yi found this behavior unsurprising. Although both of Wang Xue's friends were quite beautiful, they had always treated him with indifference. He had once overheard them remarking in Wang Xue's presence that he was akin to a toad desiring a swan's flesh, but thankfully, Wang Xue had immediately reprimanded them, which moved Lin Yi deeply. As time passed, temperatures plummeted further, reaching a staggering -80 degrees by the 7th day. The snowfall intensified. Visibility dwindled to less than 3 meters, and the snow piled up to 3 stories high, confining residents within their homes. Within a fortnight, the food reserves of every household had been completely depleted, leading to tragic outcomes as many succumbed to starvation or freezing. In this dire environment, the darker impulses of humanity began to surface, with incidents of cannibalism becoming alarmingly frequent. It was as if, in the span of a mere month, civilization had regressed to a primitive state. Wang Xue and her companions managed to survive the month, thanks to Lin Yi's assistance. However, now the food in Lin Yi's home had also been exhausted, leaving only 2 bags of instant noodles, which he had painstakingly saved for Wang Xue. After a while, Lin Yi finally received a response from her. "I'll come down to get it shortly." Seeing her message, Lin Yi felt a wave of relief wash over him. In recent days, several residents of the building had perished, and many had been consumed by others. His concern for Wang Xue's safety had weighed heavily on his mind. But knowing she was unharmed brought him solace. Before long, a knock echoed through the door. Peering through the peephole, Lin Yi saw Wang Xue standing outside, prompting him to move the refrigerator and washing machine that he had leaned against the door. The moment he opened the security door, a metal rod came crashing down beside him. Lin Yi had no time to react before the rod struck his forehead, sending him sprawling into a pool of blood. 7 or 8 individuals surged into his home, beginning to ransack the place. As Lin Yi's consciousness gradually returned, he saw Wang Xue and Zhang Qian standing at the doorway, his heart racing with concern. They must have been coerced by these intruders. He knew he could not falter. What would become of them if he did? As Lin Yi struggled to rise, Wang Xue seized a wooden stick from the wall and struck him brutally on the head. Her subsequent words plunged Lin Yi into a chilling abyss. It was I who deceived you into opening the door. I demand half of everything found, including this corpse. A man nearby smirked and remarked, no problem, you can have 2 thighs and 2 arms. You'll also be responsible for the next door. He then extracted a sharp knife from his pocket and approached Lin Yi with a cruel smile. Kid, don't blame me, blame the damned heavens. We shall gladly accept the flesh from your body. Chapter 2. 2 months before the apocalypse, as the man's knife pierced his flesh, Lin Yi's blood flowed profusely. Gradually, he began to feel no pain. His mind was consumed by the sound of a shattered heart and an overwhelming hatred for Wang Xue. Why? Why do this to me? Wang Xue, Zhang Qian, Yang Shuang, you all deserve to die. I loathe this. Why couldn't I see through their true nature earlier? If heaven grants me another chance, I will make them suffer a fate worse than death, paying 1,000-fold for their treachery. With his internal cries, the darkness before his eyes began to fade, replaced by a tidy office. His body regained sensation. Gazing at the familiar surroundings, Lin Yi felt momentarily disoriented, then meticulously examined himself, discovering that all injuries had vanished. Suddenly, a knock echoed at the door. Instinctively, he grasped the ashtray on the desk for defense. In the next moment, a woman clad in professional attire entered, and upon seeing Lin Yi's vigilant expression, she felt a twinge of curiosity. Nevertheless, she placed the documents in her hand on the table and addressed him, Manager Lin. Here are last month's reports, please sign. Lin Yi, almost by instinct, picked up the pen and signed his name. The woman took the documents, advising him, Manager Lin. Take care of yourself, I shall take my leave. Once the office door closed, reality struck Lin Yi. He glanced at his phone, revealing the date, May 1st, 2060. What is this? 2 months before the apocalypse? Have I been reborn? Lin Yi opened his computer and began searching for recent news. Finding no reports about the apocalypse or the Cambrian period, he finally confirmed that he had indeed been reborn. Ha! Lin Yi set down the mouse and burst into laughter, tears streaming down his face. After a while, as his laughter subsided, a fierce expression replaced it. Wang Xue, Zhang Qian, Yang Shuang, and my dear neighbors. Lin Yi has returned. This time, I shall make you pay in blood for your debts. Lin Yi rose and approached the door, pulling it open to reveal a hall filled with dozens of employees busily at their stations. He gazed at the once familiar scene, feeling a sense of dislocation. He is employed at a fund company, and after several years of diligent effort, Lin Yi has finally ascended from a mere clerk to the position of investment department manager. As Lin Yi reflects on his journey, a woman approaches from a distance, none other than Li Ro, the trading department manager at his company. She is clad in a white blouse, which struggles to contain her ample bosom, while her legs are adorned with black stockings paired with an ultra-short black skirt. Her high heels accentuate her graceful figure as she saunters toward Lin Yi. The busy employees of the company momentarily abandon their tasks, casting furtive glances at this exquisite beauty. It is undeniable that this captivating lady is irresistible, though her facial features may only warrant an 80 out of 100. Her devilish physique and S-shaped curves elevate her allure to at least a 90. Wherever she goes within the company, she attracts the gaze of countless men, Lin Yi being no exception. Although his heart is devoted to Wang Xue, he is still human, and even a paragon of pure love like him cannot escape the allure of beauty. Upon reaching Lin Yi's side, Li Ro hands him a document, her expression turning furious as she declares, Lin Yi, this is the report you signed. Have your team redo it immediately. If they fail to meet expectations, you will handle it personally. Lin Yi accepts the report and gestures for Li Ro to enter his office. Once she is seated, he draws the curtains and locks the door. He then tosses the document onto the floor and, with a teasing smirk, remarks, Manager Li, what an impressive display of authority you have. Has Manager Lu promised you a primary position? Lu Wei is the general manager of Lin Yi's company, married with 2 children. His youth in such a high-ranking position is attributed solely to the influence of his father-in-law, the chairman of the board. Li Ro is Lu Wei's clandestine lover, and together they have misappropriated over 30 million in company funds. an act that was only uncovered days before the impending crisis. Upon hearing Lin Yi mention Lu Wei, Li Ro's composure falters, and she feigns calmness as she retorts, "What nonsense are you spouting?" Lin Yi, in his previous life, was known for his integrity and never engaged in conflict. His promotion to investment department manager was a result of the chairman recognizing his capabilities and character. Meanwhile, Li Ro, bolstered by Lu Wei's support, has often flaunted her authority within the company, dismissing even peers like Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi's unexpected boldness now fills her with foreboding. Taking a seat at his desk, he crosses his legs and states slowly, "Stop pretending in front of me. I am well aware of your affair with General Manager Lu Wei, and I know about the 30 million in misappropriated funds. Shall I present the evidence for your perusal?" Li Ro's heart races, realizing that Lin Yi's knowledge of specific amounts indicates he possesses incriminating evidence against both her and Lu Wei. Lin Yi observed that Li Ro remained silent, thus he decided to escalate the situation. Grasping the mobile phone on the table, he declared, since he refused to admit it, "I shall call the chairman and let him investigate his son-in-law thoroughly." At this moment, Li Ro could no longer remain passive. She hastily replied, "Wait, what do you want? I will agree to anything you ask." A subtle smile graced Lin Yi's lips as he surveyed Li Ro with an assertive gaze. He possessed no tangible evidence, and calling the chairman was merely a facade to intimidate her. Feeling the weight of Lin Yi's penetrating stare, Li Ro instinctively covered her chest, and, with a hint of desperation, offered, "I will give you 1 million. Just hand over all the evidence to me." Lin Yi shook his head. Although 1 million was not an insignificant amount, the impending catastrophe necessitated substantial funds for constructing a refuge and stockpiling supplies. Yet, he dared not accept this money. It would not be long before their embezzlement was uncovered, and if he accepted it, Li Ro would surely betray him. He had no desire to languish in prison. Seeing Lin Yi's refusal, Li Ro assumed he found the sum insufficient. Gritting her teeth, she declared, "You threatening me is also a crime. The most I can offer is 2 million, which is all I possess." Lin Yi once again shook his head, stating, "I do not desire money, I desire you." Chapter 3. The Eye of the Space. Li Ro's eyes widened in disbelief. She had not anticipated that Lin Yi's objective was her own body. Although she often donned revealing attire, she considered herself rather conservative. Apart from her 2 previous boyfriends, only Lu Wei had ever touched her. Thus, Lin Yi's proposition left her in a precarious position. Yet, did she possess the authority to refuse in the face of his intimidation? Should their clandestine affair come to light, not only would her standing with Lu Wei be jeopardized, but she would also face potential imprisonment. The chairman, seeking retribution for his daughter, would undoubtedly not overlook the infidelity of his son-in-law's partner. The outcome for her was painfully obvious. Moreover, she could no longer rely on Lu Wei. He might very well shift all blame onto her, claiming she had seduced him in a bid to win back his wife's forgiveness. Given her understanding of Lu Wei, it was highly probable he would resort to such tactics. Lin Yi did not afford her much time for contemplation. After work, "I will reserve a room at the hotel downstairs. I shall send you the room number to your phone. The decision to come is yours." With that, Lin Yi disregarded Li Ro's tumultuous expression and exited the office. Upon returning to his office, Lin Yi discovered that Li Ro had already departed. He harbored no concerns that she would resort to a desperate act, based on his understanding of her character. Her only course of action would be to acquiesce to his demands, likely concealing the affair from Lu Wei. Lin Yi settled down to work. Having already contemplated his next steps, the first priority was to amass funds, a relatively straightforward task given his position as the manager of the investment department, where he had an astute grasp of the forthcoming trends in stocks and funds. With judicious application, securing a substantial amount of capital in a short time would be effortless. The second endeavor is to create an absolutely secure sanctuary, and Lin Yi has chosen to establish it within his own home. Although he could opt for a standalone villa, past experiences taught him that within a mere 10 days, the entire city's infrastructure was buried. By the day of his demise, the snow had reached the height of the 6th floor. A villa with such low elevation would be easily engulfed by the snow. Conversely, the Chuanxing community, where Lin Yi resides, boasts the tallest buildings in Haijing City, with a total of 28 stories. His home is situated on the 26th floor. If snow were to cover his residence, it would be reasonable to assume that no place on the Blue Star would be spared. The final preparations involve procuring supplies and weaponry. Food alone is insufficient without the means to safeguard oneself and those provisions. Acquiring supplies is relatively straightforward. Money can buy almost anything. However, obtaining weapons presents a greater challenge. Due to the national gun control laws, firearms are virtually non-existent in Longhua, let alone available for purchase. Should he venture abroad to procure them? Yet, the foreign environment is fraught with complexities, and navigating it as a stranger poses significant risks. Lin Yi is unwilling to jeopardize his hard-won second chance at life by perishing overseas. Furthermore, even if he could manage to acquire weapons, bringing them back would be impossible. As Lin Yi pondered his predicament, he suddenly felt something unusual in his eye and instinctively rubbed it. In an instant, a snow-white expanse manifested in his mind. An almost boundless realm. Blinking again, the space vanished. A moment of clarity washed over Lin Yi. An alternate dimension had appeared within his left eye. The method of utilizing this space was imprinted in his consciousness. Turning his gaze toward the ashtray on the table, he concentrated, and in the blink of an eye, the ashtray vanished, reappearing in the alternate dimension, quietly suspended in the void. With another thought, he summoned the ashtray back to the desk, suppressing his excitement. He conducted several trials. Lin Yi discovered that the alternate space could only absorb independent objects within a 10-meter radius. When he attempted to draw in the office door, it remained stubbornly in place. A thought struck him. What if he were to enter this space himself? Would he simply perish within? After a brief internal struggle, Lin Yi decided against this reckless venture. Having just acquired his newfound abilities, the risk of self-destruction was far too great. He resolved to experiment with some living objects first. Gazing at the clock on his desk, he noted the time before placing it into the alternate space, subsequently immersing his consciousness within to observe the clock's behavior. After a full 10 minutes, the clock remained completely still in the alternate dimension. Upon retrieving it, the clock resumed its ticking. It appeared that time within the alternate space was suspended. He was fortunate not to have tested this on himself. Had he entered, he might have been trapped indefinitely. However, this arrangement has its merits. The supplies one hoards can be directly stored in the alternate space, alleviating concerns about food spoilage. Should the opportunity arise to procure firearms, one would effortlessly pass through security checks. Lin Yi blinked his left eye, and the alternate space before him vanished in an instant. Yet, he found it peculiar that his right eye also felt oddly charged, as if energy were coalescing within it. Initially, he entertained the notion of possessing two independent spaces. But after experimenting fruitlessly for a considerable time, he reluctantly abandoned the idea. Regardless, the existence of one alternate space elicited immense excitement within him. The absence of additional abilities seemed inconsequential. In a post-apocalyptic world, possessing an independent space far outweighs the advantages of abilities like fire-breathing, invisibility, or electric discharge. No matter how formidable one's offensive capabilities, without adequate sustenance, one is bound to succumb to starvation. After a prolonged period of testing his abilities, Lin Yi powered on his computer and selected several stocks from his memory. These particular stocks were poised to surge tenfold within a fortnight, having previously generated considerable buzz. In the year 2060, the absence of trading halts amidst such volatility allowed many to seize the opportunity for wealth accumulation. Lin Yi intended to cash out at the peak, envisioning his $2 million in savings ballooning to $20 million. With this newfound capital, he could leverage his prophetic abilities to reinvest in the stock market, aiming to elevate his savings to a staggering $100 million within a month. This substantial sum would suffice to construct a secure shelter and acquire essential supplies. Having committed all his savings to the stock market, the next step was to await the outcomes. Glancing at the time, Lin Yi noted that the workday was drawing to a close. He wondered how Li Ro was faring in her considerations, reflecting on the remarkable transformation he had undergone in a mere day. Just moments ago, he had been a wretched pawn, deceived and ultimately destroyed by a fleeting infatuation. Now, he was poised to threaten others. Chapter 4. The beautiful colleague, Li Ro. Nevertheless, one must admit, the sense of spontaneity feels exhilarating. Although Lin Yi had harbored feelings for Li Ro in the past, moral constraints had always kept him at bay. However, now, he cast aside all notions of morality and humanity. In a world ravaged by chaos, principles and ethics are mere illusions. Those burdened by altruism are invariably the first to perish. Lin Yi now yearned to live by his own rules, to pursue whatever he desired without hesitation, resolutely refusing to deprive himself any longer. He shut down his computer, locked the office door, and after clocking out, departed the company. Instead of rushing to a hotel, he opted for a meal, for time was on his side today, and urgency was unnecessary. Arriving at a familiar restaurant situated at the foot of the office building, Lin Yi ordered a bowl of noodles. The restaurant's entrance faced the company's exit, and as he savored his meal, he observed the stream of employees exiting the office building. Suddenly, his gaze fell upon a captivating silhouette. It was none other than Li Ro. At this moment, Li Ro appeared as if she were a thief caught in the act, lowering her head as she exited, completely devoid of her former arrogance. As she passed by the restaurant, Lin Yi called out to her. Startled by his voice, Li Ro hesitated for a moment before stepping inside, where she found Lin Yi enjoying a bowl of noodles alone. Lin Yi instructed the owner to prepare a bowl for Li Ro as well, then resumed his meal without further ado. Li Ro observed Lin Yi savoring his food, yet her own appetite was entirely absent. overshadowed by the fear of impending exposure. After sipping his soup, Lin Yi, with a hint of concern, urged her to eat more, reminding her that physical labor would soon leave her fatigued. The teasing in his tone made Li Ro wish she could strangle him right then and there, but knowing she was at his mercy, she had no option but to acquiesce for the time being. Ultimately, Lin Yi finished his entire bowl, while Li Ro barely managed to consume half of hers. After settling the bill, Lin Yi exited the restaurant and headed to the adjacent parking lot, where he opened his car door and took a seat inside. Reluctantly, Li Ro followed and settled into the passenger seat. Lin Yi drove directly to a nearby hotel, parking the car and turning off the engine before taking Li Ro's hand and leading her inside. The receptionist, noticing the couple holding hands, discreetly recommended a romantic room, complete with various intriguing toys that previous guests had raved about. Lin Yi smiled subtly and decisively chose the room suggested by the receptionist. After registering and paying, he took the room key and led Li Ro to the elevator, ascending to the 6th floor. Upon entering the room, the pink lighting enveloped the space, revealing an enormous waterbed adorned with an assortment of peculiar items. In an instant, Li Ro transformed, shedding her earlier shyness and stepping boldly into the room. Placing her bag on the table opposite the waterbed, Lin Yi followed suit, casually locking the door behind him. The next morning, Lin Yi and Li Ro, both sporting dark circles under their eyes, checked out of the hotel. Once inside Lin Yi's car, the warmth and compliance Li Ro had displayed the previous night vanished, replaced by a cold demeanor as she retrieved a camera from her bag. She turned to Lin Yi and declared, "I will only accompany you this once. Thereafter, we shall part ways. I have recorded everything that transpired last night, and should you ever dare to threaten me again, I will release the video, ensuring you face the consequences." Lin Yi laughed heartily at her words. "Feel free to publish it if you wish. Do you think I could be incarcerated for what we did last night? It was merely a casual encounter. Is that a crime? Casual encounter?" Li Ro was taken aback by Lin Yi's response. Indeed, could their intimate moments truly serve as leverage against him? He had not assaulted her. As long as he maintained that it was consensual, who could challenge him? Furthermore, from the footage, it appeared that she had been more proactive than Lin Yi. If one were to claim coercion, it could just as easily be argued the other way around. As Lin Yi observed the stunned Li Ro, he took the camera from her hands, switched it on, and glanced at the video within. Subsequently, Li Ro remarked, "I never expected you to have the habit of documenting your life. The footage is quite commendable. You should gift it to me." With that, Lin Yi placed the camera into the hand strap of the driver's seat. Li Ro did not decline, as her leverage was firmly in Lin Yi's grasp. An additional video was of little consequence. Since it was the weekend and he had no obligations, Lin Yi drove Li Ro home. Afterward, he fought against his drowsiness and returned to the Sichuan community. Once he parked the car, Lin Yi, weary from the day, trudged into his home. Upon opening the door and gazing at the sight of his past demise, painful memories surged forth. Lin Yi silently vowed that since fate had granted him a second chance, he would live for himself, and those responsible would pay with their lives. Just wait. In 2 months, Lin Yi would exact his revenge. He removed his shoes and clothes and collapsed onto the bed, succumbing to sleep. He had not closed his eyes the previous night, and the intensity of his exertions had left him utterly exhausted. Time passed, and as the sky outside darkened, Lin Yi remained peacefully asleep. Suddenly, a piercing ringtone jolted him awake. With his eyes still shut, he grasped his phone from the bedside table without checking the caller ID. Simply pressing the answer button, a woman's voice resonated from the other end. "Lin Yi, my friends and I are downstairs in the community dining. Come down and settle the bill." The once familiar voice instantly roused Lin Yi. He glanced at the name displayed on his phone, Xue. A wave of murderous intent surged through him. He hesitated to respond, and the caller, assuming he had not heard, reiterated in a commanding tone, "Hello, Lin Yi. Did you hear me? I'm downstairs. You need to come down and pay." Lin Yi forcibly suppressed his rage. Patience was necessary for a greater plan. And now was not the time to confront her. He then endeavored to speak in a calm tone. "All right, I will be there shortly." Wang Xue, seated in the restaurant, hung up the phone with satisfaction. Zhang Qian beside her remarked, "Xue, you truly know how to manage him. You've trained Lin Yi to come at your beck and call, more obedient than a dog." Laughter erupted among the women at the table. Wang Xue, brimming with pride, replied, "Of course, men are inherently foolish. Give them a hint of kindness, and they become overbearing. Sometimes, they need to be reminded of their place." Yang Shuang chimed in, "Indeed. Lin Yi should take a good look at himself. If it weren't for our shared history as classmates, even if he begged us to pay, our Xue wouldn't give him the time of day." Wang Xue retrieved a pack of women's cigarettes from her purse, lit one, and took a drag, saying, "Enough about that insufferable fool. He is good for nothing but spending money for me. On days when I'm in a foul mood, I'll simply kick him to the curb and make him keep his distance. I find his presence utterly irritating." Chapter 5. Wang Xue after hanging up. Lin Yi washed his face in the bathroom. The cold water helped to quell the murderous intent simmering within him. Since vengeance was not an option at the moment, Lin Yi resolved to play a little trick on her, as a way to reclaim some interest. Coincidentally, they were dining at the restaurant downstairs, and his own stomach was grumbling, providing the perfect opportunity for a meal. After freshening up, Lin Yi dressed and took his keys before stepping out. Upon arriving at the restaurant, he pushed open the door and spotted Wang Xue and Zhang Qian engaged in conversation. He recognized them all. Aside from Wang Xue's two close friends, Yang Shuang and Zhang Qian, the remaining individuals were Wang Xue's acquaintances. Lin Yi had seen them on several occasions when Wang Xue had asked him to foot the bill. As soon as Zhang Qian noticed him, she waved, instructing a server to fetch Lin Yi's bill. Lin Yi chose an empty table, picked up the menu, and began to peruse it. When the server presented the bill for Wang Xue and her companions, he glanced at it and noted their extravagant order. 6 young women had selected 14 dishes, along with 3 bottles of red wine and 2 crates of beer, totaling 3,200 yuan. Lin Yi tossed the bill back onto the table and inquired of the server, "Why are you giving me the bill? I haven't ordered anything. Whoever partook should settle it." The confused server then made his way toward Wang Xue's table. Sure enough, within half a minute, Wang Xue and her companions approached Lin Yi, visibly irate. "What's your deal, Lin Yi? It's just a bill. Why the hesitation?" Zhang Qian chimed in. "Exactly, Xuer is giving you an opportunity. You can't even spare some money for her. How can we trust you with Xuer in the future?" Though Yang Shuang remained silent, her gaze was filled with ire directed at Lin Yi, as if he had committed a grievous transgression. Lin Yi gazed at the 3 furious women and smiled slightly. "I haven't consumed your food, so why should I pay? Also, what opportunity do I need from you? Don't forget, the 3 of you are still residing in my home. I'm notifying you that starting this month, I will be collecting rent. As a favor to old classmates, I'll charge you a reduced rate of 3,000 yuan per month. If you can't afford it, feel free to move out immediately." The 3 women stood frozen, taken aback by Lin Yi's unexpected assertiveness. Wang Xue gritted her teeth. Today, Lin Yi was behaving unusually. Had he taken some strange medication? For years, he had catered to her every whim, and now he dared to defy her? Whenever she hinted at dissatisfaction, Lin Yi would promptly apologize. Yet today he was uttering such words. "Lin Yi, you will regret this." "I will never forgive you," Wang Xue retorted, stomping her foot in frustration before returning to her seat. Yang Shuang and Zhang Qian began to lecture Lin Yi, seamlessly collaborating in their reproach. Each time Wang Xue stormed off in anger, her 2 friends would step in to deliver the messages she felt were too difficult to express herself, preserving Wang Xue's pristine image while ensuring her sentiments were conveyed. With this tactic, Wang Xue managed to charm quite a number of suitors, reaping substantial benefits. She kept half for herself while the other half was shared between her 2 companions. Unfortunately, their looks paled in comparison to Wang Xue's, relegating them to the role of mere supporters. "Lin Yi, we have known each other since university. You must be aware of Xue's temperament. You should immediately go and apologize to her, purchase the item she desires, and present her with a gift to seek her forgiveness. Yang Shuang, and I can also speak well of you in Xue's presence. Otherwise, if she completely disregards you, do not come to us for help later." Zhang Qian earnestly advised Lin Yi, as if she were solely concerned for his well-being. Indeed, how can a man be so petty and expect to find a girlfriend? Just a moment ago, Xue said she was prepared to give you a chance. Now you've angered her. Do you no longer wish for her to be your girlfriend? Yang Shuang chimed in, echoing Zhang Qian's sentiments. In the past, the mere notion of Wang Xue offering him an opportunity would have sent Lin Yi into a state of joyful exuberance, prompting him to present her with 2 designer handbags as a token of his affection. Yet now, even if Wang Xue were to bear herself before him, he would find it utterly repugnant. Disregarding the incessant chatter of the 2 women, Lin Yi summoned the waiter and ordered several of his favorite dishes along with a bowl of rice. Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang exchanged glances, perplexed by Lin Yi's indifference. Based on their understanding of him, a mere hint of Wang Xue's interest would have prompted him to eagerly approach her. However, the reality was that Lin Yi remained unmoved. Seeing him pick up his chopsticks, ready to eat, they reluctantly returned to Wang Xue's side. Wang Xue shot them a fierce glare, inwardly lamenting, "What useless companions. They cannot even handle Lin Yi. How can I expect them to assist me with Su Shuai?" Su Shuai was Wang Xue's latest target, a well-known heir in Haijing City, with family assets in the hundreds of billions and parents who were shareholders in the largest chain supermarket in the country. Wang Xue had met Su Shuai at a nightclub, and upon learning of his wealth, she devoted herself entirely to him. If she could conceive his child, marrying into a wealthy family would be just around the corner. As for Lin Yi, the impoverished soul, he could find somewhere else to linger. When the waiter presented the bill, Wang Xue's friends feigned interest in their phones. Eventually, She reluctantly retrieved her salary card from her bag. Both Wang Xue and Zhang Qian were employees at a small company, with monthly salaries barely exceeding 5,000. This meal consumed a significant portion of Wang Xue's earnings, leaving her quite distressed. However, with her friends present, she could not afford to tarnish the image she had painstakingly crafted as a member of Hoarding's elite. Reluctantly, she had to foot the bill herself. Moreover, they had agreed beforehand that she would treat them, believing Lin Yi would cover the expenses. Thus, even though they could not possibly consume so many dishes, they ordered with abandon. Had she known Lin Yi would refuse, she would have ordered less. After settling the bill, Wang Xue gritted her teeth and placed her salary card into her bag, attributing all of her grievances to Lin Yi. In the past, he was always prompt in covering the expenses, yet now he suddenly seemed reluctant to pay. Was he not mocking her? Furthermore, he had caused her to lose face in front of so many people. They were still residing in Lin Yi's home, and she decided to keep this debt in mind. Intending to confront him once, she became Su Shuai's girlfriend. Chapter 6. Officer Jiang Shuyan. After Lin Yi finished the meal on the table, Wang Xue and the others had already departed. He savored the last piece of meat, letting out a satisfied burp. Rubbing his round belly, Lin Yi, having endured the hardships of an apocalyptic existence, understood that no food should ever be wasted. Just 20 days into the apocalypse, half a steamed bun could incite two former friends to brawl fiercely, or even compel a man to willingly offer his wife. To them, food was not merely sustenance. It was their lifeblood, their hope for survival. Having settled the bill, Lin Yi exited the restaurant. It was now 9 in the evening, but the nightlife of Hoarding City was just beginning. Young men and women roamed the streets in small groups. Their hair dyed in vibrant hues and their bodies adorned with tattoos. With nothing in particular to do, Lin Yi strolled leisurely along the street. Suddenly, a commotion erupted ahead, accompanied by the sound of shattering beer bottles. Driven by a natural curiosity, a crowd began to gather. Lin Yi quickened his pace to join them. He soon witnessed a clash between two drunken men and several young individuals. Under the influence of alcohol, the initial insults escalated into a violent brawl. 3 young men sustained injuries, while the 2 inebriated men bore their own marks of conflict, with blood and shattered bottles strewn across the ground. The restaurant owner promptly dialed the police, and within moments, 3 police cars arrived. 6 uniformed officers emerged, attending to the injured and ushering them into an ambulance. Lin Yi focused his gaze and realized with a start how fortuitous this was. One of the female officers was none other than his neighbor, Jiang Shuyan, who lived just below him. Jiang Shuyan had become a notable figure in their community. Both of her parents held high-ranking positions within the police force. Having graduated from the police academy at a young age, she quickly became an officer. With her remarkable investigative skills and stunning beauty, she was crowned the top police flower of Hoarding City, even being promoted by the Municipal Public Security Bureau as a spokesperson for media engagements. In terms of appearance, Jiang Shuyan far surpassed Wang Xue. If Wang Xue scored an 80, Jiang Shuyan would undoubtedly achieve a 98. The 2 women were not even in the same league. Jiang Shuyan's beauty outshone that of most celebrities. Lin Yi refrained from pursuing Jiang Shuyan, largely due to Wang Xue's prior influence and the ethereal aura Jiang Shuyan exuded, which left him feeling inadequate and unworthy, rendering him too timid to entertain any improper thoughts. However, at the time of the last apocalypse, Jiang Shuyan was not in the community. It was said that she had been reassigned to another location for additional personnel. Therefore, Lin Yi was unaware of Jiang Shuyan's fate in the previous life. After exchanging a few words with the restaurant owner, Jiang Shuyan intended to return to her vehicle when she noticed Lin Yi nearby, observing the commotion. Given that they often encountered each other during their commutes, their interactions had been limited to mere greetings. Approaching Lin Yi, Jiang Shuyan remarked, "What a coincidence, Lin Yi. Are you out shopping?" In the past, Lin Yi might have shyly nodded, but he was no longer the same person. Having lived again, he wished to follow his heart, no longer concerned with others' opinions. With a confident smile playing on his lips, he replied, "Indeed, just a solitary soul out for an aimless stroll this evening." He even playfully tossed his fine bangs. Jiang Shuyan responded with an awkward yet polite smile, then waved her hand and said, "You carry on. I have matters to attend to." Seeing that his subtle hints bore no fruit, Lin Yi remained undeterred, knowing that once the apocalypse arrived, with his abundant resources, he could attract any woman he desired with merely a beckoning gesture. As a few individuals were taken away, the crowd gradually dispersed. Having had his fill of the spectacle, Lin Yi headed home. Upon reaching the ground floor, he coincidentally encountered Wang Xue and her companions returning hand-in-hand from outside. Observing their intimate demeanor, Lin Yi would have assumed the 3 women were romantically involved had he not known about Wang Xue's multitude of past boyfriends. Nevertheless, he now had reason to suspect that Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang might share a similar camaraderie. The trio noticed Lin Yi simultaneously. Wang Xue scoffed and walked past him, followed closely by Yang Shuang and Zhang Qian. Once in the elevator, Lin Yi pressed the button for the 26th floor. As the elevator ascended slowly, it eventually reached the 20th floor, where the three women exited. Lin Yi called after them from within the elevator, reminding them not to forget to pay the rent tomorrow. He then closed the elevator doors amidst their furious glares. 3,000 yuan was not a high rent in Haijing City. Comparable apartments in the same community typically commanded over 5,000 monthly. Lin Yi's insistence on the rent was purely to vex them, and he deliberately kept it low to prevent them from moving out. After all, how could he punish them if they left? He certainly could not brave the snow to confront them at their home. The greatest punishment would be to let them suffer in the cold, while he indulged in warmth and delicacies, thus amplifying their misery. Simply eliminating them would not quell his resentment. Upon returning home, Lin Yi opened his computer and checked the stock market. His investments were currently experiencing stable growth. After making a few adjustments, he closed the page and began searching for renovation companies. He yearned to fortify his home, realizing that ordinary firms would fall short of his aspirations. Thus, he resorted to online research for similar case studies. At last, Lin Yi discovered several domestic companies specializing in the construction of doomsday bunkers. After meticulous scrutiny, he ultimately settled on a firm named Tianli Protection. This company stands as a prominent leader in the realm of bunker construction within the Dragon Kingdom, boasting an esteemed reputation and widespread recognition in the industry. Lin Yi also noted that on the outskirts of Haijing City, there existed a safe house they had constructed, perched atop a modest hill. Allegedly, a wealthy individual had spent billions to create this birthday gift for his son. The entire safe house consists of 5 levels, 3 above ground and 2 below, its walls fortified with alloy plates over 10 centimeters thick, impervious even to standard artillery shells. It is equipped with a constant temperature swimming pool, a gym, a generator, and a series of smart locks among other amenities. Lin Yi was utterly captivated, especially noting that this safe house was built on a hill. Although the snow was thick, it would not completely engulf it. He made a mental note of the location, intending to visit if the opportunity arose. Chapter 7. Collecting rent. Lin Yi dialed the number listed on the website, but there was no answer. Glancing at the clock, he realized it was already past 10. Typically, companies would have closed by this hour, prompting Lin Yi to abandon his efforts to call again. It was not an urgent matter anyway, and his funds were still tied up in the stock market, rendering him unable to withdraw even a deposit. After lying in bed and fiddling with his phone for a while, he eventually drifted into a light slumber. At 5 o'clock the following morning, Lin Yi arose, had a light meal, and tested his spatial abilities, reassured when he found them intact. This spatial ability was his foundation, and any deviation was unacceptable. He took out his phone and called Tianli Protection, arranging a meeting shortly thereafter. After a brief wash-up, he took the elevator directly to the 20th floor where Wang Xue resided. He knocked firmly on the door and waited for a minute, but silence ensued. Retrieving a key from his pocket, Lin Yi unlocked the door and stepped inside. This apartment had originally been prepared by his parents as a marital home for him, so he naturally possessed the key. Previously, he had refrained from entering to avoid misunderstandings with Wang Xue, but now he felt no such concern. The front door was not locked, and upon entering, he was met with an astonishing sight. Since relinquishing the apartment to Wang Xue, he had not set foot inside. The decor was of his own design, and with the addition of appliances like the television and refrigerator, he had invested nearly 500,000, rendering it exquisitely furnished. However, the current state of the apartment was disheartening. The living room table and floor were littered with dozens of empty bottles, and the ashtray overflowed with cigarette butts. A chaotic array of high-heeled shoes cluttered the entrance, releasing a pungent odor. Lin Yi was taken aback by the scene. He had not expected the 3 women, who appeared so glamorous, to maintain such a disheveled home. Avoiding the scattered beer bottles, Lin Yi stepped into the kitchen, only to be greeted by a mess of grease covering the countertop and a pot filled with remnants of what appeared to be a recent hot pot meal. The sink overflowed with trash and unwashed dishes, a testament to the chaos that had ensued in his beloved marital home at the hands of Wang Xue and her companions. Anger surged within him at the sight of such disarray, and for a fleeting moment, he entertained the thought of expelling them from his abode. Taking a deep breath, Lin Yi endeavored to calm his tumultuous emotions, yet the foul odor in the air choked him, provoking a fit of coughing. Gazing at the 3 closed bedroom doors, he picked up a beer bottle from the floor and hurled it forcefully to the ground. The resounding crash echoed through the space, and moments later, the bedroom doors creaked open, revealing the 3 women, their eyes still bleary from sleep. Strangely, while Wang Xue emerged from her own room, Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang stepped out from the same one, confirming Lin Yi's suspicions. The 2 were undoubtedly romantically involved, which explained their inseparable bond since university and their lack of male partners over the years. Wang Xue's startled expression upon seeing Lin Yi in the living room was palpable. He pulled a printed rental agreement from his pocket and placed it on the sofa. Turning to Wang Xue, he stated, "As I mentioned yesterday, I will be collecting rent from now on. Here is the contract. If there are no issues, please sign it and remit the rent, 12,000 in total. With a deposit of 3 months. Wang Xue stared blankly at the contract, momentarily caught off guard by her groggy state. Zhang Qian, however, was quick to interject, "Lin Yi, are you serious? You dare to ask us for money? Have you lost your masculinity?" Yang Shuang, instead of echoing Zhang Qian's sentiment, turned to Wang Xue and said, "Xuer, look at him. Is this the kind of man you want? If he dares to demand money today, even if he begs on his knees in the future, you must not entertain him again." Wang Xue remained silent, her gaze icy as she fixed it on Lin Yi, unfazed by her cold stare. He met her eyes with a hint of menace. Witnessing the state in which they had left his home filled him with a fleeting desire for retribution. Yet he restrained himself, recognizing the necessity of patience for his impending plan. With only 2 months remaining, he was determined to ensure they experienced the anguish of a crumbling world before their gradual demise. Startled by the menace in Lin Yi's eyes, Wang Xue could not fathom why the man who had once indulged her every whim now harbored such disdain. Did he somehow uncover her past? The clandestine abortions she had undergone? That was implausible. Aside from Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang, no one else was privy to that secret, and they would never divulge it to Lin Yi. With a resigned sigh, she retreated to her room, intending to transfer funds to him. Having spent over 3,000 during their recent outing, and now faced with a 4,000 rent obligation, she found herself in dire straits, a month-to-month spender with dwindling savings. Fortunately, her efforts to ensnare a lucrative prospect were nearing fruition. Once she successfully captivated Su Shuai, her financial woes would soon be alleviated. Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang observed that Wang Xue had already made her payment, leaving them with no choice but to return and transfer funds to Lin Yi via their mobile phones. Each of them contributed 4,000 yuan, a sum equivalent to their monthly salary. However, given Lin Yi's unyielding demeanor, they feared that failing to pay could result in their expulsion. Renting elsewhere would undoubtedly incur even greater expenses. After receiving the payment, Lin Yi signed the rental agreement and promptly exited. Wang Xue, filled with indignation, called out to Lin Yi's retreating figure, declaring that their relationship was irrevocably severed. She warned him not to seek her out in the future should he find himself reminiscing about her. Lin Yi, seemingly oblivious to her words, left the premises, the only response being the resounding slam of the door. Once Lin Yi drove away from the community, he headed towards the city center. As he passed a lottery ticket shop, he abruptly hit the brakes, recalling that in his past life, he had purchased a lottery ticket that won him third prize, yielding 3,000 yuan in winnings. Reflecting on the timing, he realized that the draw was scheduled for the following evening. Without hesitation, he parked his car at the side of the road, indifferent to potential parking violations. After all, would he even need a driver's license in the future? Upon entering the lottery shop, he jotted down the winning numbers on a piece of paper and presented it to the shop owner, who was casually smoking behind the counter. After taking the numbers, the owner inquired how many tickets he wished to purchase. With palpable excitement, Lin Yi replied, "I would like to buy 200 tickets. 200 tickets? Although the owner had operated the shop for many years, it was his first encounter with someone willing to buy such a substantial number. Typically, customers would opt for 10 at most. Clearly, this individual possessed remarkable confidence in his chosen numbers. Nevertheless, the owner could not refuse the sale and proceeded to print out a ticket for 200 entries, handing it over to Lin Yi. After paying, Lin Yi clutched the ticket tightly in his hand and, upon leaving the shop, stored it within his alternate space. This ticket was of paramount importance once the draw occurred. Given the current jackpot amount, Lin Yi anticipated winning at least 8 or 900 million yuan. With such wealth, there would be no need for stock trading. He could simply return home, renovate, and enjoy a life of leisure. Having alleviated a significant source of anxiety, Lin Yi drove directly to the headquarters of Tianli Protection Company. Located in the heart of Haijing City, the company occupied a substantial independent 3-story office building, a testament to its formidable presence in a location where real estate was incredibly valuable. Prior to his arrival, Lin Yi had made the necessary arrangements. And just as he parked his car, 2 individuals emerged from the building, 1 man and 1 woman, both clad in professional attire. The man, despite his modest height of 1.7 meters, had a muscular physique indicative of a regular gym-goer. The woman exuded an air of competence, her long hair neatly styled, and her demeanor lacked any hint of feminine softness, instead radiating a strong, assertive energy. After exchanging greetings, the 3 proceeded into the office building together. Through their discussion, Lin Yi learned that the man's name was Luo Jun, the business manager of Tianli Protection Company, and a retired Special Forces soldier. The woman, named Li Jing, is a retired Special Forces soldier and was a teammate of Luo Jun. During their service, they developed mutual feelings for one another, yet due to military regulations, neither dared to confess their affection. It was only after their discharge that they finally came together, and they have been married for several years now. Lin Yi holds great respect for these valiant defenders of the nation, particularly those stationed on the front lines, were it not for their steadfast resistance against foreign threats. The comfort of today's lifestyle would remain unattainable. Under Luo Jun's guidance, the trio ascended to a reception room on the second floor. With the advancement of Blue Star technology, the ecosystem has suffered varying degrees of degradation, and the greenhouse effect has grown increasingly severe, prompting many affluent individuals to worry about an impending cataclysm. In response to this demand, companies specializing in the construction of safe houses have emerged. Seated on the sofa, Lin Yi articulated his requirements. Upon hearing Lin Yi's intention to build a safe house on the 26th floor, both men were taken aback. Their company primarily constructs doomsday fortresses, and it was unprecedented to create a safe house within a residential building. Such a structure could only withstand attacks from ordinary individuals. In the event of an earthquake or tsunami, it would be utterly ineffective. If the entire building were to collapse, what good would a fortified room be? However, Lin Yi remained unfazed, asserting that he was not concerned with protection against natural disasters. His sole aim was to keep those who would rob him of his supplies at bay. Constructing an underground fortress would likely lead to being buried under heavy snow, as nearly 20 meters of accumulated snow could turn it into his coffin. Although Luo Jun and his colleagues had never undertaken a project of this nature, the client's demands necessitated their efforts, particularly given the financial incentive involved. Lin Yi provided his address and contact information, and this afternoon, Luo Jun would lead a team to conduct an on-site assessment and draft a construction blueprint. Once Lin Yi approved the plan, they could proceed with the project. After leaving Tianli Protection Company, Lin Yi headed directly back to the Shouchuan community. Passing through the square, he encountered Elder Lu from the neighboring building, who was engrossed in a game of chess. Lin Yi had grown up under Lu's watchful eye, and they shared a camaraderie that transcended generations. In his youth, Elder Lu had worked as a locksmith for decades. Upon retirement, he moved to Shouchuan community to care for his young grandson. After work, Lin Yi often joined him for chess matches. In a previous life, Elder Lu had met a tragic fate, murdered in his home along with his grandson. Shortly after the onset of the apocalypse, spotting Lin Yi as he passed, Elder Lu called out to him. Lin Yi smiled gently and took a seat opposite the elder, setting up the pieces for their game. As seasoned opponents, they were well acquainted with each other's strategies, and the match remained in a stalemate for half an hour before Lin Yi emerged victorious. Despite his advanced age, Elder Lu was fiercely competitive. Upon losing the first game, he insisted on playing another. Lin Yi, unable to refuse, agreed to another round. At long last, Elder Lu, filled with satisfaction, secured victory in the second round. At that moment, Lin Yi's phone rang. It was Luo Jun, who had brought along their company's engineers to the Shouchuan community. Noticing Lin Yi was preoccupied, Elder Lu graciously allowed him to leave. Just before departing, Lin Yi pondered for a moment and could not resist advising Elder Lu. I have recently come across some rumors suggesting that there may be natural disasters occurring in the next couple of months. It would be prudent to stock up on food during this time. Better safe than sorry. Lin Yi withheld excessive details, believing that his warning was sufficient, leaving it to Elder Lu to decide whether to heed it. Elder Lu nodded while fiddling with the chess pieces, responding, "All right, I understand." From his demeanor, Lin Yi discerned that the warning had not fully registered, yet he chose not to press further. One must remain cautious. Should others accuse him of spreading rumors, he could potentially face detention. Upon arriving at the community entrance, Lin Yi welcomed Luo Jun and his team inside. Shouchuan Community is an upscale residential area in Haijing City, where entry requires a card scan and security personnel are stationed around the clock. Luo Jun was accompanied by 4 engineers, all equipped with tools, while his wife, Li Jing, did not join them. After leading the group upstairs, Lin Yi opened the door. The engineers retrieved shoe covers from their pockets and proceeded into the room to measure its dimensions and layout. Lin Yi waited quietly at the door. After a lengthy half-hour, Luo Jun emerged with the gathered data. He then addressed Lin Yi. "Mr. Lin, we can undertake the renovation of this property, and we will have the design plans ready for you by tomorrow evening at the latest. However, I must reiterate that the cost of transforming a safe house is quite substantial, especially in high-rise buildings. The weight of renovation materials is a significant concern. If the materials are too heavy, it could lead to structural failure. Thus, we must utilize the latest alloy materials, which, correspondingly, come at a premium. Overall, the renovation expenses may exceed the value of the property itself." Lin Yi nodded in understanding, replying, "I comprehend. Financial concerns are not an issue. Simply expedite the design plans." Chapter 9. The takeout was consumed with Lin Yi's affirmation. Luo Jun and his team departed without hesitation. He was not apprehensive that Lin Yi was merely toying with him. They were only tasked with producing a design plan, and they bore no losses. Should they commence work, a deposit would naturally be required. The cost of transforming the safe house, per Lin Yi's specifications, would amount to at least an 8-figure sum. The alloy materials were exceedingly expensive. A 10-centimeter thick alloy sheet could cost over 10,000 per square meter, with over 100 square meters of flooring alone, coupled with the ceiling and surrounding walls. The material expenses could easily reach into the millions. However, the corresponding defensive capabilities would be remarkable. Even bullets would be ineffective. An AC-4 explosive would require a significant quantity to cause any damage. Yet, this is Long Country, where even ordinary handguns are scarce, let alone C4 explosives. The most significant advantage of this alloy board lies in its lightweight nature. A 10-centimeter thick alloy board weighs approximately the same as an ordinary brick. Moreover, it boasts excellent insulation properties, effectively resisting both cold and heat, making it a cutting-edge technological product of 2060. Luo Jun calculated that if this order materialized, his commission alone would amount to no less than 200,000. To firmly grasp this ripe opportunity, he summoned all the designers in the company, determined to produce a design blueprint that would satisfy Lin Yi. After bidding farewell to Luo Jun and his team, Lin Yi closed the door and proceeded to check the stock market situation on his computer. Within a mere 2 days, the shares he purchased had more than doubled, escalating from 2 million to 5 million. Lin Yi meticulously adjusted his stock holdings to maximize his returns. He spent the entire afternoon engrossed in his work, neglecting lunch. Preferring not to be interrupted, he opted to order takeout through his phone, a bowl of char siu rice accompanied by a cup of milk tea, specifying in the notes to leave it at the door. After an indeterminate period, Lin Yi's stomach growled once more. Glancing at the clock, he realized 2 hours had elapsed, and the delivery had long since arrived. Rising to ease his aching neck, he approached the door to retrieve his meal. Upon opening the door, he was met with a scene of utter disarray. Remnants of food were scattered across the floor, and the cup of milk tea lay shattered. Closing the door, Lin Yi took out his phone and opened an app linked to the camera installed at his door, allowing him to observe the events that had transpired outside. He rewound the footage to an hour and a half prior. A young woman, Lu Mei, was seen exiting the elevator with a gray wolf dog in tow. Lu Mei, a solitary woman residing directly across from Lin Yi, had purchased the large dog 2 years ago for companionship due to her fear of living alone. The community regulations prohibited the ownership of large dogs, primarily due to concerns for the numerous children in the area, as large breeds could pose risks. Consequently, the property management had approached her several times. However, Lu Mei remained obstinate, indifferent to their entreaties. Over time, the management ceased their efforts, particularly since no incidents had arisen during this prolonged period. In a previous life, Lu Mei had resorted to slaughtering her pet dog for sustenance amid food scarcity. Surviving for an additional month on the meat before Lin Yi was tragically killed by Wang Xue. As the wolf dog emerged from the elevator, it sniffed the air, likely drawn by the aroma of the char siu rice, and made a beeline for Lin Yi's takeout. Lu Mei merely observed as her dog tore into the delivery, offering no resistance, and patiently waited for the dog to finish before leading it back to her home. Upon viewing the footage, Lin Yi was infuriated. He swiftly donned his shoes and dashed across the hall to knock on her door. Moments later, Lu Mei's voice emerged from within the door. "What is it?" Lin Yi, suppressing the anger bubbling within, replied, "Your dog devoured my takeout. Did you not see?" There was a brief silence before Lu Mei's voice responded again. "What evidence do you have? My precious son never consumes such junk food. He only eats imported dog food." Lin Yi, amused by Lu Mei's words, produced a video from his phone and waved it in front of Lu Mei's peephole. He then stated, "There's a camera at my door that captured everything clearly. Are you still denying it?" Upon seeing the evidence in Lin Yi's hand, Lu Mei dropped her pretense and resorted to being unreasonable. "So what if my son ate it? It's just a worthless takeout, hardly worth anything. How dare you come looking for me? It's your fault for leaving the food at the door. If it gets eaten again, that's on you." Infuriated, Lin Yi almost slammed the door, but suddenly regained his composure. He shifted his tone and said to Lu Mei, "Forget it, it's just a meal. Consider it me treating your son. However, if you fail to keep an eye on your dog again, don't blame me for being impolite." After delivering his words, Lin Yi returned to his apartment without waiting for Lu Mei's response. Once seated on the sofa, he took out his phone and browsed the web. At last, Lin Yi discovered a link to an aphrodisiac on a dubious website. Without hesitation, he placed an order for the most potent one, its description boasting merely 8 words: unfaltering prowess, commanding respect. Subsequently, Lin Yi ordered another takeout. When the delivery arrived, he opened the door and brought the food inside. After finishing his meal, it was already 8 in the evening. Having risen early and been busy throughout the day, Lin Yi felt exhausted and could barely keep his eyes open. With Monday looming and work awaiting him, he washed up and went to bed. The following morning, Lin Yi awoke with renewed vigor. After freshening up, he headed downstairs to a breakfast shop for a light meal before driving to the office. As soon as he stepped into the elevator, he encountered Li Ro and the company's general manager, Lu Wei. Li Ro was Lu Wei's clandestine lover, and due to Lu Wei's fear of being discovered by his father-in-law, he refrained from displaying any affection towards her in the workplace. Lin Yi chuckled inwardly at the sight of the stern-faced duo in the elevator. However, Li Ro's expression flickered with a hint of panic upon seeing Lin Yi. She dared not reveal his threats to Lu Wei, for she feared that Lu Wei would, in a fit of rage, discard her like an unwanted item. Lin Yi entered the elevator, pressed the button for his floor, and stood right next to Li Ro. Stealing a glance at the two, a mischievous thought crossed his mind. Chapter 10. The drugging Lin Yi switched his handbag from his right hand to his left, then slowly reached his right hand toward Li Ro's backside. Startled by Lin Yi's boldness, Li Ro froze, worried that Lu Wei, standing beside her, might notice. Lin Yi, encouraged by her restraint, grew bolder and gave her rear a firm pinch. Li Ro was taken aback by Lin Yi's sudden advance, nearly letting out a cry. She could only feign a cough to mask her unease. Lu Wei turned around, a puzzled expression on his face as he regarded Li Ro. He then inquired, "Are you all right?" Li Ro waved her hand dismissively. "I'm fine, just a bit under the weather. My throat feels itchy." After speaking, the elevator doors opened, prompting Li Ro to hastily flee the scene. Although Lu Wei found her behavior somewhat strange, he brushed it off and followed her out of the elevator. Seated in his office, Lin Yi gazed at the data on his computer, anticipating that by tomorrow morning, his 2 million would transform into 10 million. Throughout the day, he had not caught a glimpse of Li Ro and was unsure if she was deliberately avoiding him. As noon approached, Lin Yi received a link from Luo Jun. Upon opening it, a 3D model of a room appeared on his screen. The layout was unmistakably that of Lin Yi's home. Accompanying the model were various textual descriptions. Upon closer inspection, Lin Yi noted that all the walls were constructed from 10-centimeter thick high-tech alloy panels, including the floor and ceiling, with no seams visible. A layer of cement was applied externally, rendering it indistinguishable from ordinary walls. The windows in the living room were outfitted with the latest bulletproof glass, approximately 10 centimeters thick, which was 3 to 4 times more expensive than the alloy panels, boasting superior hardness and insulation properties. The security door was also custom-made from this alloy. With a thickness of 20 centimeters, its serrated interlocking mechanism meant that only high-grade explosives could breach it. Should a bomb capable of demolishing the alloy door explode at Lin Yi's doorstep, the resulting force could collapse the entire building. The alloy door was equipped with a shooting port and a set of flamethrowers, a feature Lin Yi insisted upon, which Luo Jun reluctantly conceded to. The shooting port was manageable, merely requiring a small opening, but installing flamethrowers on the door was illegal and could result in liability should any incidents arise in the future. In addition to the external defenses, the room's interior was fitted with numerous facilities. To ensure warmth, a fireplace was constructed in the living room, complemented by underfloor heating. Igniting the fireplace would channel warmth through pipes to every room. The entire electrical and plumbing system had been dismantled, with 3 generators and 2 5-cubic-meter water tanks installed in one bedroom to guarantee the safe house's daily water and electricity needs. The ventilation system was enhanced with a filtration function, effectively isolating any toxic or foul-smelling gases. Even the toilet in the bathroom had undergone special treatment to prevent blockages due to cold weather. Overall, Lin Yi was thoroughly satisfied with the construction of the house. Marveling at the intricate design details, it was evident that the designer was a professional in the realm of apocalyptic fortifications, a far cry from Lin Yi's own half-baked imaginings. After receiving Lin Yi's affirmation, Luo Jun felt a surge of happiness, realizing that the bonus was within reach. He subsequently informed Lin Yi of the renovation costs, which totaled 61 million. Lin Yi was required to pay a 30% down payment before work could commence, amounting to 18 million. The remaining 70% was to be settled within 3 months of the project's completion. Although Lin Yi appreciated the design, he found himself devoid of funds, as his meager savings were tied up in the stock market, awaiting a substantial return. To amass enough for $1 billion, he estimated he would need at least another 2 weeks. His hopes were now pinned on the lottery results that evening. He decided to buy some time by presenting additional requests, inquiring about the installation of covert blast-resistant cameras capable of withstanding temperatures as low as -60 or 70 degrees. However, Luo Jun outright rejected Lin Yi's proposal, citing the illegality of installing cameras in the community, as it would infringe upon the privacy of others. While he had agreed to install flamethrowers at the entrance, Lin Yi, being sensible, would refrain from using them unless absolutely necessary. Thus, Luo Jun would not escape culpability in the event of an incident. Furthermore, Lin Yi had assured him that upon taking possession of the property, he could bypass the flamethrower option, claiming it was a personal installation. Cameras, however, presented a different issue. Such a significant installation would inevitably lead back to him. Ultimately, Lin Yi conceded, stating that coverage of just his building, number 16, would suffice, leaving the other floors to their own devices. After some contemplation, Luo Jun reluctantly acquiesced. They arranged to sign the contract a week later, and Lin Yi ended the call. At precisely 5 in the afternoon, Lin Yi clocked out and returned to the Sichuan community. After retrieving his package from the courier station, he made his way home. In the community square, he fortuitously encountered Lu Mei walking her dog. Lin Yi, feeling the urgency, hurried home and ordered takeout, specifically selecting extra portions of braised pork. Once the order was placed, he settled onto the sofa in the living room to wait. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Lin Yi opened the door, expressed his gratitude, and brought the takeout inside. He unwrapped the packaging and discreetly sprinkled the aphrodisiac he had purchased online into the food. After securing the lid, he placed the takeout at his doorstep, deliberately leaving it slightly ajar to ensure the enticing aroma of the braised pork wafted into the hallway. Lin Yi peered out the window, and upon seeing Lu Mei return to the corridor with her dog, he immediately crouched by the door, observing intently. After a mere 2 minutes, the elevator doors opened, revealing Lu Mei and her beloved wolf dog. Upon exiting the elevator, the dog was instantly captivated by the delectable scent emanating from the takeout. Lu Mei hesitated momentarily, but recalling Lin Yi's demeanor towards her the previous day, a surge of anger ignited within her. Dare you to threaten me again? Today, I shall teach you another lesson. What difference does it make if you consume your food? Lin Yi stood behind the door, observing the large dog voraciously devouring the meat strips from the takeaway. A smirk crept onto his face. Soon, a delightful spectacle would unfold. Lin Yi sighed, lamenting that the man-beast duel could not pass scrutiny. What a pity it was. Chapter 11. The Unyielding Spear. Towering above the masses only after Lu Mei's dog had consumed every morsel of meat from the takeaway did she, satisfied, let her dog and return home. With the effects of the drug still yet to manifest, Lin Yi remained crouched behind the door, his ears perked in anticipation. Before long, he heard Lu Mei's furious tirade accompanied by a cacophony of barking. Yet, after more than 10 minutes of uproar, an unexpected silence enveloped the scene. Curiosity piqued. Lin Yi pondered whether the drug had lost its potency, or if perhaps Lu Mei had met a grim fate at the hands of her own dog. Undeterred, he cautiously pushed the door open and pressed his ear against Lu Mei's front door to listen intently. Although the clamor had ceased, he discerned a faint, disquieting sound akin to Lu Mei's subdued moans. A jolt of alarm coursed through Lin Yi. Could it be that Lu Mei had been fatally bitten by the dog? If a life had been lost, the ramifications would be dire. His safe haven was not yet prepared. Would he truly find himself languishing in a prison cell? Resolutely, Lin Yi contemplated a drastic course of action. Should the worst come to pass, he would resort to erasing all evidence, whisking both the dog and the person into another dimension, rendering himself beyond suspicion. Even if doubts were cast upon him, he would merely need to deny any involvement over the preceding 2 months. Listening intently at the door, Lin Yi suddenly found the sound peculiar. It bore no resemblance to the groans of a wounded individual, but rather resembled pleasurable sighs. Abruptly, a realization dawned upon him. Stealthily, he retreated from the doorway and returned home. Was this not a case of facilitating the happiness of others? May they find their love fulfilled. This handsome gentleman performs good deeds without leaving a trace. After securely locking his door, Lin Yi activated his computer. His stocks continued to surge, and he found himself pondering the recent fluctuations in the market. In his previous life, he had not given it much thought, but now it struck him as increasingly strange. Had news of the impending apocalypse been known to some in advance? Were the irregularities in the stock market the manipulations of powerful figures consolidating their resources? Lin Yi chose not to dwell on the matter. Regardless of who was orchestrating these machinations, the outcome remained favorable for him. Riding this wave of fortune would enable him to amass considerable wealth in a short span, wealth that would serve as his lifeline in the impending apocalypse. After making some adjustments to his stocks, he turned on the television, for it was now time for the lottery draw. As the little balls rolled across the screen, a set of numbers materialized. Lin Yi gazed in disbelief at the figures displayed, comparing them against the ticket he had in his possession from the other dimension. In a fit of frustration, he tore the ticket into shreds. In his previous life, he had at least won a few thousand. To think that this time, having returned with a cheat, he had not matched a single number. Was this some sort of trickery? Where was the justice in this world? After venting his frustrations, Lin Yi lay despondently on the sofa. Fortunately, the stock market situation mirrored that of his previous life. Otherwise, he might have doubted whether he had truly been reborn or merely transported to a parallel universe. Watching billions evaporate before his very eyes, Lin Yi's temper flared. He promptly seized his phone from the table and dialed Li Ro. At that moment, Li Ro had just emerged from the bathroom after a refreshing shower. Standing before the mirror, she was admiring her figure while drying herself off. Confident in her physique, she relished her curves. Her form was perfectly proportioned, particularly her pair of long, slender legs that were strikingly fair. Her penchant for short skirts and kipeos made her a standout presence in the office, leaving many freshly graduated interns blushing at the mere sight of her, a veritable heartthrob. It was no wonder that the company's general manager, Lu Wei, risked everything to be associated with her. As Li Ro continued to admire her exquisite silhouette, the phone resting on the sofa suddenly rang. She glanced at the caller ID, her hand trembling slightly as she recognized the name. Why was this scoundrel calling her again? Just as she contemplated hanging up, she hesitated and ultimately pressed the answer button. Uncertain of how much leverage Lin Yi held over her, she feared that refusing his call might lead him to expose her secrets. With such beauty, her aspirations of becoming a wealthy wife lay ahead. She could not allow Lin Yi to ruin her promising future. Though Lin Yi had persistently threatened her, she reasoned that he was merely lustful. As long as she kept him satisfied, he would never cast her into a prison of his making. Eventually, she would find a way to seize his vulnerabilities, thus liberating herself. With this thought, Li Ro felt a sense of calm wash over her, her tone turning sweet and alluring. "Ego, are you already missing me? Do you want me to keep you company again?" Lin Yi on the other end was momentarily taken aback by her sultry voice, nearly melting at the sound. What was going on with her today? Why was she being so forward? Had she taken something? Resolutely shaking off any confusion, he dismissed the idea of being flattered by a woman's advances. Without further ado, he simply replied with, "Same place as last time," before hanging up. As the dial tone echoed in her ear, Li Ro began preparing herself. After applying a delicate makeup and donning stockings and high heels, she set out. Meanwhile, Lin Yi freshened up at home. Although he regarded Li Ro merely as an outlet for his desires, he believed that a modicum of respect was still warranted. Arriving at the hotel where they had previously met, Lin Yi booked a couple's suite and sent the room number to Li Ro. After a tedious wait of several minutes, just as boredom began to set in, a sudden knock echoed from the door. Peering through the peephole, he swiftly opened the door, and the sight of Li Ro standing before him instantly captivated him. A cascade of lustrous black hair tumbled casually over her shoulders, while her upper body was adorned with a snug jacket that tantalizingly revealed her alluring navel. Her legs were clad in a minuscule skirt paired with seductive black fishnet stockings, exuding an ineffable charm and sensuality. Lin Yi reached out and pulled Li Ro into his embrace. The following morning, Lin Yi rose early, for he had to attend work, having refrained from indulgence the previous evening. Once he shifted the thigh resting upon him, he donned his shoes and made his way to the restroom. The floor was a chaotic scene, littered with torn stockings and discarded tissues. He playfully patted Li Ro's rear to rouse her from slumber. Upon awakening, she seamlessly embarked on her morning routine of washing up and applying makeup, as though she had fully embraced her current role. After vacating their hotel room, the duo enjoyed breakfast downstairs before Lin Yi drove Li Ro directly to the office. He parked in the lot outside the company, and as they descended from the vehicle, they encountered Lu Wei, who had just parked his own car. The three exchanged glances, the atmosphere thick with awkwardness. Chapter 12. An addiction to indulgence. Lu Wei eyed Li Ro as she emerged from Lin Yi's car, a forced smile gracing his lips as he remarked, "What a coincidence. What brings you here?" Before Li Ro could respond, Lin Yi interjected, "Good morning, General Manager. This is my girlfriend. We just confirmed our relationship last night." With that, he wrapped his arm possessively around Li Ro's slender waist. Lu Wei's gaze fell upon Lin Yi's hand, his eyes nearly ablaze with fury, yet he feigned cheerfulness, saying, "Congratulations. While the company does not explicitly prohibit relationships, you should still be mindful of the implications." Lin Yi, unperturbed by Li Ro, who was nearly burying her face in her own attire, assured Lu Wei, "Rest assured, General Manager, we will not let our work suffer. We shall take a leaf from your book and that of the General Manager's wife." Lu Wei clenched his teeth, the smile fading from his face as he strode towards the office building. Lin Yi's boldness in acknowledging his relationship with Li Ro in front of Lu Wei stemmed from the knowledge that the apocalypse was less than 2 months away. He planned to resign once his stocks reached a valuation of 100 million. Thus, he was untroubled by the prospect of Lu Wei sabotaging him. As for Li Ro, she was of little consequence, merely a vessel for his desires. Even her beauty fell short of the standards he held in his heart. While he found her entertaining in casual encounters, he would never permit her to reside in his sanctuary. His haven was reserved for women who scored above 90 in his personal evaluations. Though Li Ro's physique barely met the passing mark, she remained a mistress, inherently unaligned with his aspirations. It was plausible that she harbored thoughts of wishing him ill. Lin Yi was resolute in rejecting such a partner. The thought of her potentially betraying him for his shelter and resources was unfathomable. In this new life, Lin Yi prioritized safety above all else, relegating all else to secondary importance. Should he desire companionship, he knew that an abundance awaited him, easily gained with a mere offering of instant noodles. Seated at his desk in the office, Lin Yi found the day's workload light, affording him the opportunity to monitor the performance of his stocks. Lin Yi anticipated that by the weekend, the value of his stocks would reach 50 million. At that point, he planned to withdraw 20 million as a deposit to give to Luo Jun, allowing him to renovate the house, as otherwise, he would never feel secure. After a long day of toil, Lin Yi had just returned home and had barely settled in when a knock resonated from the door. He found it peculiar, for he had few friends, and the one he interacted with the most in his previous life was Wang Xue. Who could possibly be seeking him? Peering through the peephole, he quickly understood. Upon opening the door, he found Lu Mei standing awkwardly at the threshold, a 100 yuan bill clutched in her hand. Before Lin Yi could inquire, she thrust the money into his palm and said, "I'm sorry, but my dog accidentally devoured your delivery yesterday. Consider this my compensation." Lu Mei was notorious in the neighborhood for her unreasonable demeanor, so Lin Yi was taken aback by her sudden gentleness. Had she perhaps found a new lease on life? It was only when he glanced at the money that he regained his composure. "It's fine. If your son enjoys it, let him have it. Consider it my treat," he replied. A slight smile graced Lu Mei's face as she responded, "I'm glad you're not upset. We are neighbors after all, as the saying goes. Distant relatives are not as helpful as close neighbors. We should look out for one another." Although uncertain of Lu Mei's true intentions, Lin Yi engaged in light banter. Seeing their conversation falter, Lu Mei finally revealed her purpose. "Lin Yi, where did you order your takeout from yesterday? My dog absolutely loves it, and I'd like to use it as dog food in the future." At her words, Lin Yi grasped her ulterior motive. It appeared that after indulging yesterday, she was eager to continue today. He could only wonder if her precious pet would be drained dry by her whims. Realizing her intent, Lin Yi curtly replied, "I bought it randomly. You can look it up online," and promptly closed the door. Infuriated by being dismissed, Lu Mei glared at Lin Yi's door before storming back home. Her pet dog lay curled up in its bed, having not eaten a thing since the previous day and appearing lethargic, as if it had exhausted its vitality. Concerned, she cast a glance at it before sinking into the sofa, memories of last night's escapades flooding her mind, bringing a flush to her cheeks. Just as Lin Yi sent Lu Mei on her way, he received a call from Lu Wei. Cursing under his breath at the coincidence of being besieged by those named Lu, he answered the phone. Lu Wei launched into a tirade without preamble. "Lin Yi, you scoundrel! How dare you sleep with my woman?" Hearing the frantic voice on the other end, Lin Yi realized that Li Ro must have confessed to him. Earlier that day, he had informed Lu Wei that Li Ro was his girlfriend. Though Lu Wei had restrained his anger then, he would undoubtedly confront Li Ro after work. Knowing he had been cuckolded by one of his department managers, Lu Wei could not swallow this humiliation and had promptly called Lin Yi. Lin Yi listened attentively to the roaring voice on the phone. After Lu Wei had vented his frustrations for 10 minutes, his voice began to wane. Lin Yi promptly forwarded a video recorded by Li Ro to Lu Wei. Indeed, upon receiving the video, Lu Wei's already diminished voice soared an octave higher. And Lin Yi was convinced that had he been standing before Lu Wei at that moment, the latter would have brandished a knife against him. After another half hour of tirade, Lu Wei finally exhausted his anger. Lin Yi shut down his computer, picked up his phone, and calmly informed Lu Wei, "I have recorded everything you just said, and I shall send it to the chairman now." Instantly, Lu Wei's demeanor shifted to one of composure. He realized he had been blinded by rage and forgotten that Li Ro was his clandestine lover, a relationship that could not be publicly acknowledged. If his extramarital affair and the embezzlement of company funds were to reach his father-in-law's ears, it would spell his doom. His father-in-law was no ordinary man. Having built a substantial company in Haijing City, he was once a ruthless figure in his youth. Should he learn of these transgressions, it was highly probable that he would not involve the authorities but would instead dispose of Lu Wei and Li Ro in the depths of the sea. Suppressing his fury, Lu Wei attempted to speak to Lin Yi in a measured tone. "I will no longer pursue matters regarding you and Li Ro. Let us consider this settled." "Settled?" Lin Yi burst into laughter. "Who said anything about settling? My relationship with Li Ro is one of mutual affection, a rendezvous of hearts. And it has nothing to do with you. You just berated me for so long. Are we to let it all slide?" Lu Wei gritted his teeth in frustration. Yet under the circumstances, he had to concede. "Speak plainly. How much do you want to ensure our secret remains safe? I do not desire your money. You often belittle me at the company, and after your tirade, I am left feeling quite hurt. Why not call me father for a change? If you acknowledge me as your dad, we can consider this matter resolved. After all, who would quibble with their own son?" Upon hearing Lin Yi's words, Lu Wei's fingers dug into his flesh. However, contemplating his fate, he ultimately acquiesced. Father, please help me keep this secret. Good son, Lin Yi chuckled. Father will assist you. By the way, inform Li Ro that we shall meet at the usual place tomorrow night. After a couple of hearty laughs, Lin Yi abruptly ended the call. Lin Yi harbored a deep disdain for such a shameless character as Lu Wei. With just over a month left before Lu Wei would be apprehended, he took pleasure in toying with him, a small act of vengeance for the chairman's daughter. After the call ended, Lu Wei slammed his hand against the steering wheel in frustration. Nevertheless, he decided to send a message to Li Ro. Lin Yi asked me to tell you to meet at the usual place tomorrow night. Having sent the message, Lu Wei parked his car in the villa's garage. He took a moment to compose himself before exiting the vehicle and returning home. As soon as he entered, his two sons rushed towards him. With a faint smile, Lu Wei lifted each of them into his arms. The table in the restaurant was already set with dishes, while the housekeeper busily attended to tasks in the kitchen. Upon entering the living room, Lu Wei noticed a man seated on the sofa. Alarmed, he quickly placed the child down and hurried over. He respectfully addressed, "Father, why didn't you inform me of your visit in advance?" The man was none other than Zhang Zilin, the chairman of Lin Yi Company and Lu Wei's father-in-law. With a stern demeanor, Zhang Zilin replied, "I need to discuss something with you. Let us go to the study." He then stood up and walked towards the study, with Lu Wei dutifully following behind. Though anxiety began to gnaw at him, had his father-in-law already discovered his misdeeds? Seated in the study's office chair, Zhang Zilin confronted Lu Wei, who stood before him like a schoolboy caught in wrongdoing. Recently, someone mentioned that there are discrepancies in the company accounts. Are you aware of this? Hearing Zhang Zilin's mention of account issues caused Lu Wei to break into a cold sweat. Nevertheless, he feigned composure and replied, "Father, rest assured, I am overseeing the company. There will be no issues. I will investigate this matter tomorrow and report back to you once I have clarity." Although Lu Wei had embezzled a considerable amount, it was trivial for a magnate like Zhang Zilin. It was not a sum he could not cover. If Lu Wei's financial troubles stemmed merely from poor management, there would be no cause for alarm. However, Lu Wei had unlawfully diverted company funds to speculate in the stock market, intending to bolster his personal finances to maintain an extramarital affair, and he was also entangled with Li Ro. Should Zhang Zilin uncover these transgressions, Lu Wei would undoubtedly be cast out and face imprisonment. He had no illusions that his wife or father-in-law would show him mercy. How could he possibly explain that he had merely erred as any man might? Fortunately, Zhang Zilin had only received some hearsay, devoid of concrete evidence. After a brief conversation, he dismissed the matter from his mind. Upon receiving Lu Wei's message, Li Ro was equally taken aback. Just moments earlier, Lu Wei had aggressively questioned her about her relationship with Lin Yi. Realizing that the truth could no longer be concealed, she reluctantly divulged to him the threats made by Lin Yi, hoping Lu Wei would intervene on her behalf. Little did she expect that, in such a short span, Lu Wei would become merely a messenger. Men truly could not be relied upon. After concluding the call with Lu Wei, Lin Yi found himself at leisure. With all his funds tied up in the stock market and inaccessible for the moment, he could not proceed with the renovations of his safe house. He dressed and stepped outside, driving his small car directly to the nearby night market. Upon arriving at a street lined with food stalls, Lin Yi approached a vendor selling chicken skewers, pulling out 3,000 yuan in cash and placing it on the stall. In the face of the vendor's bewildered expression, Lin Yi declared, "I will buy all the chicken skewers you have today. Prepare 300 portions, and once they are ready, deliver them to the car across the street." The vendor, elated, eagerly accepted the money, counting it with a nod of appreciation. In all his years of business, he had never encountered a customer willing to make such a substantial purchase in one go. This was indeed a lucrative opportunity. The boss repeatedly assured Lin Yi that he would complete the task promptly while ensuring both quality and flavor. After placing his order for chicken strips, Lin Yi proceeded to the next stall. This particular stall specialized in duck delicacies, featuring an array of duck parts such as heads and wings, all meticulously braised and generously drizzled with spicy oil, Lin Yi's absolute favorite. With a grand gesture, he ordered everything available and promptly requested the bill. Having witnessed Lin Yi's prior dealings with the adjacent chicken strip vendor, the duck delicacy stall owner showed no hesitation. He swiftly packed the items from his cart into takeout boxes and began tallying up the total. Since the duck delicacies had been pre-braised, no further preparation was required. After settling the bill, Lin Yi scanned his phone to transfer 6,000 yuan to the owner. Thanks to these two promotional efforts, nearby vendors began eagerly approaching Lin Yi to market their own products. "Boss, my grilled cold noodles are exquisite. Would you care to try?" "Boss, how about some stinky tofu? I can offer you a discount if you take everything." Lin Yi did not decline these unsolicited pitches, and he proceeded to secure their stalls as well. Once his funds were sufficiently replenished, he planned to reserve some banquet dishes at a hotel. though he had a fondness for these snacks. If he did not stockpile some now, he feared he might never have the chance to enjoy them again. The entire snack street underwent a peculiar transformation due to Lin Yi's presence. Although mealtime had not yet arrived and the foot traffic was sparse, every stall was bustling with activity as if they wished for additional hands. Lin Yi, however, sat leisurely in his vehicle, quietly stowing away the food delivered to him into a pocket dimension where time stood still, alleviating any concerns about spoilage. Even after a lengthy period, when he retrieved the food, it remained as fresh as when it had been stored, allowing him to savor these snacks anywhere at any time. His investments were tied up in the stock market, but fortunately, he had retained 300,000 for emergencies. Otherwise, the small change in his pocket would scarcely suffice for these purchases. While Lin Yi busied himself with receiving deliveries, a Maybach suddenly pulled up at the entrance of the snack street. The door opened, and one man accompanied by 3 women emerged. Upon closer inspection, Lin Yi realized it was indeed a case of encountering old adversaries. How had Wang Xue and her friends managed to ensnare such an impressive catch? Wang Xue and her companions flanked a rotund young man as they exited the vehicle. The man sported gold-rimmed glasses, and what drew the most attention was his physique. From a distance, he resembled a sphere, standing at 1.70 meters and weighing at least 300 pounds. After taking just a few steps, he was already gasping for breath. Wang Xue and Zhang Qian each linked arms with him, while Yang Shuang obediently followed behind, carrying the man's leather bag. The young man's name was Su Shuai, a well-known second-generation rich heir in Haijing City, who squandered his family's wealth, hundreds of billions, lavishing in extravagance daily, courtesy of his parents' status as shareholders in the nation's largest supermarket chain. The number of women he has encountered is countless. However, ever since he met Wang Xue and her companions at the nightclub, his heart has been captivated by her charm. She is the only one who has made him believe in love. The women before her were merely enamored with his wealth. Wang Xue, on the other hand, is indifferent to his financial standing, desiring only a sincere connection with him, which has ensnared Su Shuai's heart profoundly. Today, he wishes to treat himself to a meal, allowing him to savor the flavors of the common folk. Observing the demeanor of the group, Lin Yi deduces that they are affluent youngsters seeking a taste of life outside their privileged bubble. Upon arriving at a small stall, Wang Xue orders 2 servings of fried chicken, only to be informed by the vendor that all the chicken has been sold out. With a slight pout, she decides to try another establishment, but the outcome remains the same. After visiting 5 or 6 places, all of which inform them of their lack of stock, Su Shuai grows increasingly impatient. Being rather overweight, he prefers to sit rather than stand, and after walking so far, he finds himself breathless and fatigued. After inquiring, Wang Xue learns that a man has purchased all the food at the night market. The vendor then points across the street, indicating Lin Yi, who is collecting the food. Wang Xue, surprised to discover that Lin Yi is the one who has monopolized the snack street, recalls that since she invited him to pay the bill a few days ago, he has been acting strangely, not only altering his attitude towards her, but also engaging in peculiar behaviors. She wonders if he can even consume all that he has bought. It will spoil within days, which seems a waste. Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang also spot the busy Lin Yi and begin to embellish their tales of how he had bullied them in front of Su Shuai. In their narrative, Lin Yi transforms into a shameless landlord who covets Wang Xue's beauty, harboring resentment after being spurned by her, and is now seeking ways to entangle himself with her. Su Shuai, inflamed by Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang's insinuations, sees Wang Xue as his possession, one that no other man should dare approach. Upon realizing that this man has the audacity to pursue his woman, he lumbers towards Lin Yi, his ample form swaying. Lin Yi, having just stored 100 portions of freshly prepared fried noodles into his spatial realm, looks up to find a mountain of flesh looming before him. A glance at Wang Xue and Zhang Qian reveals that these 3 women have conspired to provoke him. "Hey, are you the one who has been pestering my Wang Xue?" Su Shuai demands, his tone aggressive. Lin Yi scratches his head, feigning confusion. "Who has been pestering her? And who might you be?" Su Shuai, adjusting his gold-rimmed glasses with an air of arrogance, responds, "I am Su Shuai, the son of Su Guangliang, the largest shareholder of Fuyuan Supermarket." Fuyuan Supermarket? Lin Yi muses, recognizing the name that resonates throughout Longhua as the premier large-scale supermarket chain, with branches sprawling across the nation. In Haijing City alone, Fuyuan Supermarket boasts 4 locations. In the outskirts of Haijing City, there lies an enormous warehouse housing the entire inventory of Fuyuan Supermarket across South China, with an overall value exceeding 50 billion. Once recognized by the Guinness World Records as the largest warehouse in the world, this colossal structure stretches like an airport, partitioned into numerous levels for receiving and storing goods. Encompassing an area of 3.5 million square meters, larger than 467 football fields. Upon learning that Su Shuai is the heir of Fuyuan Supermarket, Lin Yi was struck by a bold idea. If he could somehow acquire this warehouse, even 1,000 individuals indulging in excess could live comfortably for a lifetime. Although he possessed spatial abilities that allowed him to draw objects into an alternate dimension, stealing everything from the warehouse would not be an easy feat. Such a vital facility would undoubtedly be under tight security, with surveillance cameras dispersed throughout. It would be impossible for Lin Yi to accomplish this alone. However, with Su Shuai's involvement, the situation might be different. Perhaps he could leverage this connection. With this thought in mind, Lin Yi promptly rose, bowing deeply to Su Shuai and exclaiming, "Ah, it is young Master Su. I failed to recognize your esteemed presence. I beg your forgiveness." Su Shuai, pleased with Lin Yi's demeanor, patted his shoulder with a plump hand and remarked, "You're wise to recognize the situation. If you dare to pursue my Wang Xue again, I will hold you accountable." Lin Yi nodded earnestly, replying, "Rest assured, I shall not trouble her again. If they wish to reside in my house, they may do so. If they choose to leave, I will promptly refund their rent." Su Shuai waved his hand dismissively. "No need for a refund. That trifling amount is of no consequence. Tomorrow, the three of them will move into my villa to live with me, and you are to cease all harassment towards them." Lin Yi continued to nod, assuring Su Shuai, "You need not worry, I shall never intrude upon them again." Seeing Lin Yi's agreeable attitude, Su Shuai felt his vanity satisfied and gained face in front of his goddess, before wrapping his arms around the waists of the three women and strolling away. As Lin Yi watched the imposing figure gradually recede, he began to pray for Wang Xue and the others. With their petite frames, he feared that the apocalypse might not arrive before they were crushed by that hefty mass. Having resolved the immediate issue, Lin Yi resumed gathering his snacks. Yet his mind was preoccupied with plans to acquire the resources from the warehouse, ideally framing that plump fellow in the process. Lin Yi had not forgotten the grievances of the day. He was not one to repay kindness with malice. Anyone who had crossed him would undoubtedly face retaliation tenfold. Moreover, from Su Shuai's words, it seemed Wang Xue and her companions were set to move today, which would undoubtedly disrupt his plans. If they left, whom could he seek revenge upon? But if Su Shuai were to encounter misfortune, leaving them without protection, they would have no choice but to return. Once they moved back to the Sichuan community, Lin Yi would have his means to firmly grasp them in the impending apocalypse. Chapter 15. Recruitment. Lin Yi stored the final batch of snacks in his alternate space, where he had already accumulated an impressive array of specialty delicacies valued at 200,000. These were freshly prepared, sufficient to last him a lifetime. He spent a tranquil week, often inviting Li Ro to accompany him during his leisure hours. Li Ro appeared to have grown accustomed to this arrangement, showing less resistance to Lin Yi's subtle coercions. Nevertheless, Lin Yi remained vigilant. He did not consider Li Ro an obedient companion, suspecting she might be harboring ulterior motives. Through his strategic maneuvers, the stock market had surged to 50 million. Lin Yi withdrew 25 million to hand over to Luo Jun. He offered an additional 5 million because Luo Jun, upon learning that Lin Yi's construction deadline was merely a month and a half, had initially declined the project. For a venture as monumental as constructing an apocalyptic fortress, the minimum time frame typically commenced at 6 months. Lin Yi recalled a suburban fortress he had seen online, which took Luo Jun over a year to complete. Although Lin Yi's project was substantially smaller, being on the 26th floor posed significant challenges regarding material transport and construction logistics. Even with expedited efforts, completion would require no less than 6 months. However, Lin Yi could not afford to wait that long. The apocalypse loomed just over a month away. If the house was not finished before the Cambrian event, all his efforts would be rendered futile. Ultimately, after some negotiation, Luo Jun reluctantly consented, accepting the 5 million deposit and agreeing to an additional 10 million expedite fee upon completion. Lin Yi expressed indifference to the cost. Whether it was 10 million or even 100 million, he could easily promise it, as it was but an empty check. Since their encounter at the night market, Lin Yi had not seen Wang Xue and her companions. They had likely moved to Su Shuai's villa, and it appeared they had all relocated together. He wondered whether they had lost their innocence in the process. Yet, given the materialistic nature of the three women, it would be challenging for them to maintain composure in the presence of a wealthy second-generation heir like Su Shuai. Even if Yang Shuang and Zhang Qian identified as lesbians, they might have succumbed to the allure of affluence. Lin Yi packed away the remaining belongings he needed into his alternate space. As Luo Jun was scheduled to commence renovations that day, he intended to dispose of everything else and purchase brand new appliances post-renovation. At 9 in the morning, Luo Jun arrived at the Sichuan community with over 20 workers and renovation equipment. After handing the keys to Luo Jun, Lin Yi departed for a nearby 5-star hotel. With his stock profits, he was unperturbed by the expense. The impending apocalypse left no room for hesitation in enjoying the present. The five-star hotel boasted exquisite decor, and Lin Yi booked a luxurious room spanning 70 to 80 square meters, featuring a living room, an independent kitchen, and a wine cabinet, all with a breathtaking view of the sea from the floor-to-ceiling windows. With his own residence under renovation, Lin Yi planned to reside in this opulent retreat for the forthcoming month. With only a little over a month remaining until the apocalypse, Lin Yi decided it was time to procure supplies. His foremost consideration was meat. In the face of extreme cold, a bowl of stewed meat offers far more sustenance than a bowl of instant noodles. Lin Yi searched online for a slaughterhouse, intending to purchase freshly slaughtered meat, firmly disregarding any notion of the meat that might have been tainted by the undead. After expressing his purchasing intentions over the phone, the owner of the slaughterhouse arranged to meet Lin Yi at noon at the facility. Lin Yi drove directly to the destination. This slaughterhouse, the largest in Hoarding City, is located in the development zone and spans a vast area, with dedicated slaughtering sections for pork, beef, lamb, and chicken. Upon arriving, Lin Yi parked his car at the entrance and made a phone call. Shortly thereafter, a middle-aged man wearing glasses emerged, accompanied by another individual. Lin Yi greeted him politely with a handshake, and the three of them proceeded into the factory area. Along the way, Lin Yi observed trucks laden with cattle and sheep being ushered into the slaughtering section, which reassured him regarding the quality of the meat here. Once inside the factory office, Lin Yi sank into a sofa. As the volume of meat he required warranted special attention from the owner. After a series of negotiations, Lin Yi successfully purchased a substantial quantity of assorted fresh meat for 30 million, totaling over 1,000 tons. He had already rented a warehouse in the suburbs to store these provisions. After jotting down the address, he paid a 30% deposit. The meat was scheduled to be delivered to Lin Yi's warehouse within a week, with the remaining balance due within 3 months. After departing from the slaughterhouse, Lin Yi made his way to the Human Resources Center in Hoarding City. He was quite familiar with this place. After graduating from university, he frequented it daily until he eventually secured stable employment. Pushing open the doors of the Human Resources Center, he was greeted by a bustling hall filled with job seekers, each clutching thick stacks of resumes. Observing the busy crowd, Lin Yi was reminded of his own past. While Lin Yi was scanning the room for potential candidates, an uproar suddenly erupted nearby. A manager from a company's HR department disdainfully tossed a young man's resume to the ground, mocking him with, "You, a mere vocational graduate, dare to apply to our company? Why don't you take a good look at yourself?" The young man's face flushed crimson with embarrassment, and he silently bent down to retrieve his resume before pushing through the crowd to leave. Lin Yi, moved by the young man's plight, quietly followed him. The reason Lin Yi was drawn to this young man was simple. His experience embodied the essence of the saying, 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river. Do not belittle the young for their poverty. Lin Yi placed a hand on the young man's shoulder, calling him back. The young man turned, puzzled, and asked, "Hello, is there something you need?" Lin Yi took the resume from the young man's hands and glanced at it. The young man was named Su Mo, a recent university graduate with a degree in market management, described as honest and diligent in character. Lin Yi smiled faintly after reading the resume. It was his first encounter with such a unique presentation. He then addressed Su Mo, saying, "I have a job opening that requires someone to simply record the entry and exit of goods in a warehouse. The salary is 10,000 yuan per month. Are you interested?" Su Mo's eyes lit up at the mention of the salary. He had been searching for a job for a week without finding anything above 4,000, let alone a position offering 10,000. However, observing Lin Yi, who did not appear to be a typical corporate boss, caused him to harbor some doubts. Yet, with his mother ill and requiring substantial medical expenses daily, earning such a sum would alleviate much of his father's burden. Ultimately, Su Mo decided to take a chance. After all, he had little to lose, and what if it were genuine? He nodded and replied, "Thank you, boss. I am interested." Lin Yi instructed him to follow, and then left the Human Resources office immediately. Su Mo quietly trailed behind, watching Lin Yi's retreating figure. Upon reaching his car, Lin Yi opened the door and settled inside. After a moment's hesitation, Su Mo took a seat in the passenger side. The two shared an uncomfortable silence as Lin Yi drove directly to the warehouse he had rented in the outskirts. Su Mo clutched his backpack tightly, feeling increasingly anxious as they ventured into more desolate surroundings. Thoughts of potential danger crossed his mind. Was he at risk? Did this man desire something more sinister? Unbeknownst to Su Mo, Lin Yi was focused solely on driving, completely unaware of the young man's apprehensions. Otherwise, he would have certainly ejected him from the vehicle. Soon, they arrived at the warehouse, where Lin Yi exited the car and retrieved the keys to unlock the large door. Su Mo followed closely behind. As the door swung open, a spacious warehouse of over 500 square meters came into view. Lin Yi had signed a 6-month lease just days prior, planning to purchase various supplies in the coming period. Since he could not directly store items in a separate space, he opted for a warehouse to keep things discreet. Once the goods arrived, he intended to return at night to collect them unnoticed. Handing Su Mo the warehouse keys and a notebook, Lin Yi instructed, from today onward, you will be responsible for this warehouse. Numerous goods will be delivered daily, and it will be your duty to log them accurately. Accepting the keys and notebook, Su Mo felt a wave of relief wash over him, grateful to have avoided any peril. Lin Yi saved Su Mo's contact information on his phone, gave him a brief tour, and taught him how to register the incoming goods before departing. Although the warehouse was situated in a remote area, a bus to the city arrived every half hour, alleviating concerns about Su Mo's ability to return home. Additionally, the warehouse contained a small room equipped with a bed and restroom for Su Mo's convenience. Fearing he might go hungry, Lin Yi had thoughtfully stocked the room with instant hot pots and noodles. Though limited to these modest provisions, Su Mo felt a profound sense of contentment, primarily due to the substantial amount of money provided by Lin Yi. It is no small feat for a recent college graduate with a diploma to earn such a considerable sum each month. After departing from the warehouse, Lin Yi made his way directly to a lumber mill, as the primary source of heating for his shelter relied upon the fireplace within. Therefore, he was determined to procure an ample supply of wood, especially since the duration of this Cambrian storm remained uncertain. The lumber mill was situated within a forested area to the north of Hoarding City. Upon entering the mill, Lin Yi was greeted by a potent aroma of timber, with stacks of firewood towering several meters high surrounding him. Prior to his arrival, Lin Yi had already communicated with the mill's owner via telephone, so upon his entrance, the owner and his spouse promptly welcomed him. There were also more than a dozen workers engaged in their tasks, and the sound of machinery cutting wood resonated throughout the space. Observing the vast quantity of firewood, Lin Yi gestured grandly and declared, I shall take all the wood you have. All of it. It is noteworthy that the quantity stored at the lumber mill was astronomical, with at least 10,000 tons available, aside from those already ordered. Although the wholesale price of firewood was relatively inexpensive, the cost for 10,000 tons would still amount to a minimum of 6 million, and when transportation fees were included, it would rise to approximately 6,500,000. Lin Yi was elated to discover the wholesale price was indeed so affordable, having previously researched that the average price per ton was around 1,500 yuan. To his surprise, the wholesale rate was only a few hundred per ton. With this substantial amount of firewood, he would be well equipped to sustain his shelter for an eternity. Without hesitation, Lin Yi signed the purchase agreement, stipulating that the wood would be delivered in batches to his warehouse within a month. However, the lumber mill was solely responsible for sales, not transportation, and Lin Yi did not have the luxury of time to manage the logistics. Fortunately, the owner was acquainted with numerous truck drivers who frequently assisted with their deliveries. Lin Yi generously transferred an additional 500,000, totaling 7 million, to the mill owner's account, entrusting him with the complete responsibility of transportation. Given Lin Yi's status as a significant client, especially one who paid up front before receiving goods, the owner treated him as a benefactor, readily assuring him that his requests would be fulfilled without delay. Moreover, with the added incentive of the 50,000 as a labor premium, the couple's lumber mill typically did not earn such a sum in a month. They would gladly halt operations for an entire month to cater to Lin Yi's needs. In the end, Lin Yi made a specific request for all the firewood to be cut into long strips for easier burning. However, this posed a challenge for the owner, as cutting over 10,000 tons of wood into strips would entail an extraordinary workload. With the limited manpower available, even working day and night, it would be impossible to complete the task within a month. Understanding the owner's predicament, Lin Yi promptly transferred an additional 200,000. Preferring to resolve matters with money rather than lengthy discussions. After receiving the funds, the owner's demeanor shifted once again, and he began to assure Lin Yi of the commitment to fulfill his order. Though the workload has increased somewhat, it is merely a matter of hiring additional personnel. As long as one is willing to pay, any request will be met. Lin Yi provided his phone number and delivery address to the owner before departing from the lumber mill. While in his car, Lin Yi compiled a list of necessities. In addition to meat and firewood, he also needed to procure fruits, vegetables, grains, cooking oil, drinking water, and fuel. The first 3 items were essential for his sustenance. He could not subsist solely on meat, as vegetables, fruits, and rice were equally necessary. Drinking water was of paramount importance, for despite the heavy snowfall anticipated in the aftermath of the apocalypse, many would resort to melting snow for hydration. However, who could ascertain the purity of the snow? Lin Yi had no intention of taking such risks. Lastly, there was the matter of fuel. His residence had completely disconnected from the community's power supply and relied on a generator. This would ensure that, even amidst external power outages, his shelter could maintain a continuous supply of electricity around the clock. Although the diesel generator's daily consumption was modest, it accumulated over time. If he did not prepare fuel soon, he would find himself laboriously digging through snow to access the buried gas stations when the need arose. Chapter 17. Ordering a feast. The first few items were manageable. With a little expenditure, he could acquire them. However, fuel posed a significant challenge. Should he drive around in his car to refuel and then transfer the gasoline into an alternate space? That seemed excessively cumbersome. With no immediate solution for the fuel predicament, Lin Yi decided to focus on other supplies. He drove to a vegetable market near the Sichuan community and, after spending a bit of money to inquire, located the wholesaler supplying vegetables to their market. Without hesitation, he made a call to the wholesaler, a man named Song Jun, who was renowned for his exceptional fruit and vegetable distribution in Haijing City. Upon learning of Lin Yi's intent to purchase a substantial quantity of produce, Song Jun initially dismissed the request. Many who claimed to need large amounts were merely asking for trifles. As the largest wholesaler in Haijing City, he controlled 70% of the supply. Had he not feared accusations of monopolization, he would have been confident in dominating the entire fruit and vegetable market in Haijing City. However, when Lin Yi articulated the specific quantities he required, Song Jun began to take the matter seriously. Lin Yi intended to procure 1,000 tons of assorted vegetables and 1,000 tons of fruits in one go. Given that Haijing City boasted a population of approximately 10 million, the monthly consumption of fruits and vegetables totaled around 3,000 tons. Song Jun typically supplied about 2,000 tons each month, meaning Lin Yi was effectively requesting his entire monthly stock. The overall cost would be no less than 50 million. Upon understanding Lin Yi's requirements, Song Jun arranged to meet him at his company. After concluding the call, Lin Yi drove directly to Song Jun's establishment. Upon arrival, a secretary promptly escorted Lin Yi to a conference room. Shortly after Lin Yi took his seat, a middle-aged man in his 50s pushed open the conference room door and entered. This man was Song Jun, the owner of the vegetable supply company. Upon learning that Lin Yi required goods within a month, Song Jun expressed his curiosity. Vegetables, unlike other commodities, have a notably brief shelf life. Even a few days' delay can lead to spoilage, resulting in a plummeting price if not sold in time. The prospect of Lin Yi purchasing such a substantial quantity of produce raised concerns about potential financial loss. After voicing these apprehensions to Lin Yi, he simply waved his hand, indicating there was no need for worry. In his unique space, time remained completely still, and as long as the goods were delivered and promptly stored away, there would be no risk of deterioration. Seeing Lin Yi's determination, Song Jun refrained from further persuasion. After all, as long as payment was made, the logistics were not his concern. They proceeded to sign the purchase contract, stipulating that Lin Yi would pay 30% of the total amount within 2 weeks, after which Song Jun would arrange for delivery. The remaining 70% would be settled within a month after all goods were transferred. Though Lin Yi felt a sense of urgency, he chose to delay the deposit by a week due to limited cash on hand, having allocated funds for renovations with Luo Jun and spent the rest on firewood. However, he calculated that his investments in the stock market would soon double, allowing him to pay in full while giving Song Jun 2 days to gather the necessary goods. After all, sourcing such a large quantity was no simple task. Song Jun not only had to supply Lin Yi but also ensure that the citizens of Haijing City had access to fresh vegetables. Otherwise, if all the produce went to Lin Yi, what would happen to the people of Haijing City? It would surely lead to chaos. As Lin Yi departed from Song Jun's company, night had fallen. After a long day without a meal, his stomach was growling with hunger. He drove straight back to the hotel, parked the car, and hurried to the hotel restaurant. Choosing a random table, he glanced at the menu and ordered several signature dishes: braised sea cucumber, abalone, lobster, and a steak. Once the dishes arrived, he began to indulge. The cuisine of a 5-star hotel was indeed exquisite. Although Lin Yi's family had once been well off, it was his first experience with lobster and sea cucumber. Perhaps it was the chef's exceptional skill, but each dish tantalized his palate with precision. After clearing his table, Lin Yi called for the waiter to settle the bill. The total for the 4 dishes came to a staggering 1,700, with the lobster alone costing 520. Lin Yi couldn't help but remark on the steep prices. After paying, he asked the waiter to summon the manager. Moments later, a man in his 30s, dressed in a suit, approached respectfully and said, "Good evening, sir. My surname is Liu. How may I assist you?" He appeared to be the restaurant manager. Lin Yi picked up the menu on the table and addressed the restaurant manager. "Hello, Manager Liu. I would like to arrange several banquet tables here. May I inquire if you offer delivery services?" Manager Liu, displaying a professional smile, nodded and replied, "Our hotel does indeed provide such services. How many tables are you looking to book, and what is your budget per table?" Lin Yi glanced at the menu and responded, "I would like to book 1,000 tables, with each table set at a standard of 5,000 yuan. The dishes I just enjoyed should be included in that." and I will order a few more to meet the total of 5,000. Upon hearing this, Manager Lu became animated. This was a significant customer. Although their restaurant frequently hosted banquets, the typical budget rarely exceeded 3,000 yuan, and delicacies like lobster and abalone were seldom offered. Moreover, they typically handled only dozens of tables, never exceeding 100. However, Lin Yi's request for 1,000 tables was unprecedented. Securing this large order would undoubtedly double the month's earnings, leading to a substantial bonus for himself and the entire restaurant staff, including waiters and chefs. Noticing Lin Yi was ready to place his order, Manager Lu personally took pen and paper to record the details, his demeanor and tone markedly more enthusiastic than before. Lin Yi ordered several signature dishes from the restaurant, along with a soup and 2 stir-fried vegetable dishes. After calculating the prices, he realized they were nearing 5,000 yuan. Before placing the menu back on the table, the total cost for 1,000 banquet tables amounted to 5 million yuan, and Manager Lu generously offered Lin Yi an additional 2 dishes for each table. Following this, Lin Yi provided the address of the warehouse and specifically requested that they deliver the food at 8 p.m. 3 days later. Since these dishes would be freshly prepared, Lin Yi needed to store them in his alternate space promptly. If the delivery occurred during the day, it would be inconvenient for him to transfer the items in the presence of Su Mo. Thus, he planned to collect them after work. Manager Lu, not questioning the unusual delivery address of a warehouse, assumed it was merely the dining time for the banquet. Regardless of the location, as the patron, Lin Yi could dictate where the goods were sent. Even if he requested delivery to a roadside restroom, they would comply. Lin Yi paid a 1 million yuan deposit, agreeing to settle the remaining 4 million upon delivery. Before departing, Lin Yi emphasized that all ingredients must be fresh, and each dish should meet the quality he experienced today. If the flavors differed, he would not be inclined to pay. Manager Lu assured him, pledging to remind every chef to ensure perfection. Leaving Lin Yi satisfied as he exited the restaurant and returned to his room, ready to rest. After a busy day, his legs felt weary, and he grew increasingly fatigued post-meal. The following morning, Lin Yi washed up and rose early. It was Sunday, and with work resuming the next day, he still had some important purchases to make. Lin Yi drove to a remote village in Haijing City, parking his vehicle in an abandoned repair shop. He turned off the engine and began his wait. After half an hour, a van entered through the shop's gates, and 3 men emerged. The leader, a bald man adorned with a scorpion tattoo on his neck, approached Lin Yi. Upon seeing him, the trio surveyed their surroundings, ensuring no one else was present. Before the bald man inquired, "Mr. Wang?" Lin Yi nodded in affirmation. These individuals were contacts Lin Yi had made on the dark web, specializing in arms trafficking. Naturally, he refrained from disclosing his true identity to them. The bald man instructed his companions to unload the items from the van, revealing 4 large wooden crates. Upon opening one, he extracted a handgun and an AK-47, tossing them directly to Lin Yi. He caught them with surprise at their weight, realizing this was his first genuine encounter with a real firearm. Previously, he had only seen such weapons in films, and he had not anticipated their heft. Despite this being his inaugural experience with a real gun, he was well versed in its operation, having watched numerous movies. The fundamentals of handling firearms were not foreign to him. As he chambered around, he noticed the gun was unloaded and glanced questioningly at the bald man, who retrieved 2 bullets from another crate and handed them to Lin Yi. To avoid any unnecessary complications, our ammunition and firearms are kept separate. Please understand, the handgun bullets are $5 each, but I'll consider these 2 as a gift. Lin Yi chose to disregard the bald man's remarks, recognizing the caution warranted when dealing with arms dealers. He loaded the 2 bullets into the magazine and aimed with his right eye at a beer bottle 30 meters away. The 3 men tensed, instinctively reaching for their waists. As Lin Yi aimed, he suddenly felt a surge of energy coalescing in his right eye, which transferred directly to his firearm. With a single shot, the beer bottle shattered into countless shards, and he sensed a slight depletion of energy from his eye. Observing the gun in his hand and the remnants of the bottle, he realized that, without any formal training, he had managed to hit a target from 30 meters away. This could only suggest 2 possibilities. Either Lin Yi was a shooting prodigy, capable of flawless accuracy without practice, or the energy from his right eye had played a role. The former seemed implausible, leaving only the latter as the explanation. Lin Yi then aimed at a basketball-sized rock 50 meters away. This time, he did not consciously align his shot, yet as he pulled the trigger, the energy from his right eye once again enhanced his firearm. A bullet hole appeared in the distant stone, revealing that the shot's power surpassed that of an ordinary bullet. Not only did the hard rock bear a puncture, but it also fractured entirely. Lin Yi carefully sensed the energy within his right eye, noting a slight decrease once more. In relation to the total, the energy expended from firing a single shot was approximately 1,000th of the total. This meant that with just a handgun, Lin Yi could fire 1,000 rounds, each shot striking true, with unwavering precision. This newfound ability filled him with an indescribable joy, alleviating the need for diligent practice in marksmanship. The trio of bald men were startled by Lin Yi's shooting prowess. Could this unassuming young man before them be a master marksman in the urban realm? Their wariness towards Lin Yi intensified, resulting in a noticeable shift in their demeanor. The bald leader produced a box of grenades and placed it before Lin Yi. This box contained 80 grenades, and during his university days, Lin Yi had indeed played games that featured them. Thus he was familiar with their usage. However, the noise they generated was substantial. Even in this secluded area, experimentation was not feasible, so he set them aside, confident that no issues would arise. The bald leader then retrieved a final box, extracting a black bulletproof vest and helmet. Compared to the weapons and grenades, these items were what Lin Yi desired most. He firmly believed that as long as one has life, there is hope for the future. Without the assurance of personal safety, possessing an abundance of material goods would merely serve to benefit others. Donning the bulletproof vest, Lin Yi found it somewhat bulky, yet it fit adequately, lending him a more robust appearance. Content with his acquisitions, Lin Yi approached his vehicle and retrieved 2 bags of money from the trunk, handing them to the bald leader. After counting to confirm the amount, the bald leader passed the money to one of his subordinates and addressed Lin Yi, saying, "Mr. Wang, it has been a pleasure collaborating with you. Should you require anything further, do not hesitate to contact me for a preferential rate." As the group prepared to depart, Lin Yi suddenly called out to them, "Can you procure a substantial quantity of fuel?" The bald leader paused, surprised. He indeed had access to such supplies. Though he couldn't guarantee a vast amount, it would certainly exceed the stock of an ordinary gas station. Lin Yi was elated. He had merely inquired tentatively. Yet the bald leader's affirmative response indicated a stroke of fortune. After some negotiation, they agreed to reconvene at the same time next week for the transaction. Lin Yi requested 50 tons of fuel, as the bald leader could not provide any more than that. With the arrangements finalized, the trio departed in their van. Chapter 19. Securing 500 billion in resources. Once Lin Yi confirmed the area was clear, he picked up the AK from the box, loaded it with ammunition, and conducted another test. Aiming at a black dot on the wall, he pulled the trigger. After several shots, 5 bullets struck in succession, hitting the target with precision. The black was obliterated by the barrage, sunlight streaming through the newly formed hole. Simultaneously, his right eye experienced a further depletion of 5/1,000ths of its energy. Yet, the overall energy appeared to have increased slightly, as if it possessed a self-restorative quality. After conducting further experiments, Lin Yi has confirmed the existence of his second supernatural ability. Not only can he achieve precise guidance, but he can also augment the attacking power and range of bullets. This time, Lin Yi procured a submachine gun, 2 handguns, 80 grenades, 3,000 rounds of submachine gun ammunition, 2,000 rounds of handgun ammunition, and 20 empty magazines. Armed with these provisions, coupled with his extraordinary abilities, Lin Yi felt confident in his capacity to eliminate everyone in the neighborhood. However, he was not inclined to unleash a massacre. Allowing them to perish so easily would be too merciful. Lin Yi intended for them to succumb to the harshness of the apocalypse, freezing and starving to death. After securing the arms in his alternate space, Lin Yi drove away from the repair shop, boldly returning to the city. This was the advantage of possessing an alternate space. Anything he stored within it could not be detected, not even by police dogs or X-ray scans. His alternate space was entirely independent of this world. As long as Lin Yi wished to remain discreet, no one could ever discover what he concealed inside. In recent days, he had spent a considerable sum of money. Although the stock market continued to fluctuate dramatically at the rate he was spending, his earnings could scarcely keep pace. Presently, he was left with less than $1 million in cash. The prospect of stockpiling additional supplies was beyond his means. He could only wait until next week to earn several tens of millions before venturing out to indulge again. With time on his hands, Lin Yi turned his attention to Su Shui. He engaged a detective agency, investing 100,000 to hire a private investigator to follow Su Shui and Wang Xue, requiring them to report on their whereabouts at all times. After several days of surveillance, the investigator uncovered numerous transgressions committed by Su Shui. Relying on his parents' status as major shareholders of Fuyuan Supermarket, Su Shui frequently pilfered valuable goods from the warehouse to sell discreetly. The warehouse staff had long been bribed, colluding with him to report losses after liquidating the goods, or substituting lesser brands for the high-end items to pocket the price differences. Upon receiving this information from the private investigator, Lin Yi immediately recognized an opportunity. That evening, instead of returning home after work, Lin Yi drove directly to the Fuyuan Supermarket warehouse located in the outskirts. He parked his vehicle 2 kilometers away on a dirt slope. After changing into a different outfit and donning a mask and gloves, he stealthily approached the warehouse. In his alternate space, both the AK and the handgun were fully loaded, ready for use at a moment's notice. Lin Yi concealed himself at the entrance of the warehouse, and within half an hour, a truck appeared approximately 200 meters away. Thanks to his enhanced abilities, Lin Yi's vision had not only sharpened, but also acquired the capacity to see in the dark. He discerned that the rotund Su Shuai was seated in the passenger seat of the truck, engaged in a phone call. 2 minutes later, the lights in the warehouse suddenly extinguished, along with the surveillance cameras. Lin Yi understood the situation perfectly. It is likely that Su Shuai, fearing exposure, intentionally instructed those within to sabotage the electrical circuit, fabricating a scenario of short-circuiting. Thus, even if the loss or substitution of goods in the warehouse were discovered, it would be impossible to trace it back to him in the absence of surveillance. Even if the warehouse manager were to identify him, he has ample means to distance himself from the matter, especially considering his parents are the largest shareholders in the company. The accusations of a few minor employees would be inconsequential. As the lights in the warehouse dimmed, Su Shuai's truck roared back to life and headed towards the warehouse. Under the cover of night, Lin Yi discreetly clung to the side of the truck as it passed through the warehouse's entrance. The area, being suburban, was enveloped in profound darkness, devoid of the city's illuminating lights. When the truck came to a halt at the warehouse, Lin Yi stealthily descended and concealed himself behind a shelf. At that moment, over a dozen individuals, comprising security personnel and managers, had congregated in the warehouse. At Su Shuai's beckoning, they commenced unloading items from the truck. Lin Yi retrieved a gas mask from his alternate dimension and donned it. He then produced several spherical ether bombs, placing them beneath the truck. These products from 2050, once the pins were removed, would release a substantial amount of ether, rendering those nearby unconscious, with an effective range of 20 meters. Although they were a decade-old invention, they had quickly become a vital weapon for the military and were still in use today. Lin Yi had acquired these ether bombs from the bald man during a previous firearms purchase, possessing only 5 in total. Concerned that the individuals might awaken midway, he opted to deploy 3 at once, leaving him with just 2. As anticipated, the ether bombs took effect, causing the busy individuals to sway unsteadily. And within half a minute, they collapsed to the ground. Su Shuai, too, began to feel lightheaded, despite his considerable weight. The potency of 3 ether bombs was sufficient to incapacitate him. With a resounding crash, the ground trembled slightly, and Su Shuai finally succumbed to the floor. The dosage was sufficient to ensure they would remain in slumber until noon the next day, allowing Lin Yi to commence his endeavors. Lifting his gaze, Lin Yi, though previously captivated by vivid news reports of the warehouse, was only now struck by its enormity. Standing there, he felt akin to an ant before an elephant. Towering shelves, each over 10 meters high, flanked him, meticulously stocked with a plethora of supplies. Everything one might encounter in a supermarket was present here. From the minutiae of toothpicks and toothbrushes to the larger items of tables, chairs, sofas, and mattresses. A glimmer of green light sparkled in Lin Yi's eyes. The inventory was far more abundant than he had envisioned. He could even leverage these resources to establish an army in a post-apocalyptic world. There were hundreds of tons of bottled water and assorted beverages, alongside various packaged foods and frozen steaks and fish balls. Lin Yi estimated that nearly half of the stock consisted of long-lasting food items, with the remainder comprising everyday necessities, with merely condoms and women's lingerie stockings. Lin Yi had collected 30 large boxes. Chapter 20, The Mysterious Golden Key. Although these items were of no immediate use to him, he was resolute in his future intention to attract beautiful women. At this thought, the delicate visage of Jiang Shuyan suddenly emerged in his mind. However, in his previous life, Jiang Shuyan was absent from the community during the outbreak, and perhaps this time would be no different. It seemed his aspiration to include her in his harem was temporarily dashed. Discarding these distracting thoughts, Lin Yi began to gather the supplies. Fortunately, the shelves were not affixed to the ground. With a mere thought, he could transport the goods along with the shelves into the alternate space. Even so, it took him a full 5 hours to empty the entire warehouse. As he surveyed the now barren space, a profound sense of security welled up within him. Subsequently, Lin Yi approached Su Shuai and his companions, observing Su Shuai's corpulent form peacefully sprawled on the ground. He retrieved a slipper from his alternate space and struck Su Shuai's face with it, cursing, "I let you insult me, and you dare to insult me again?" After delivering dozens of blows, he was satisfied to see Su Shuai's already round face swell to the size of a pig's head. And then he returned the slipper to the alternate space. A gentleman does not hold grudges, and Lin Yi was not one to be magnanimous. Just as he was about to depart, he noticed a golden key dangling from Su Shuai's neck. Curiosity piqued. He removed it. The key was uniquely shaped, distinctly not resembling a conventional door key, with several segments in the middle that appeared highly advanced. Without further contemplation, he tossed the key into the alternate space, confiscating it without a second thought. Afterward, he collected several ether bombs from the ground and stored them in the alternate space. Once his tasks were complete, the clock struck 4 in the morning. Lin Yi dared not linger any longer and exited through a small door of the warehouse. He hastily retraced his steps, circling the vicinity twice before returning to his vehicle. He then removed his clothing and stowed it away in the alternate space. To avoid detection, Lin Yi had purchased his clothes and shoes from a street vendor, ensuring that even if captured on surveillance, the origins of his attire would remain elusive. He had even deliberately bought shoes 2 sizes too large, so that any accidental footprints left behind in the warehouse would not lead back to him. Though this was merely a theft, the magnitude of the loss was staggering. 500 billion worth of goods, marking it as perhaps the largest heist in history. Lin Yi could already envision the uproar that would ensue online the following day. He drove along the back roads to evade nearby surveillance and returned to the hotel, arriving just as dawn broke at 7 o'clock. To further avoid detection, Lin Yi had practically circumnavigated Haijing City, navigating through rural paths. Even if they were eventually able to trace him, it would likely take time, especially with Su Shuai bearing the blame, which would buy him even more time. Upon returning to the hotel, Lin Yi refreshed himself and prepared to head to work. Despite having spent an entire night devoid of slumber, he remained remarkably invigorated at this moment. The thought of the vast resources within his alternate realm filled him with an exhilarating fervor. Meanwhile, at 8 o'clock in the morning, the shift change at the Fuyuan warehouse commenced. A dozen individuals had gathered early at the warehouse entrance, but upon pushing open the large doors, they were left in stunned silence. Their colleagues lay sprawled haphazardly across the floor, and nearby stood a delivery truck loaded with half a vehicle's worth of warehouse supplies. However, the most shocking revelation was that the entire warehouse stood utterly bare, with not even the iron racks used for storing goods in sight. The group rubbed their eyes vigorously, struggling to comprehend how such a vast quantity of goods could vanish overnight. Even employing 1,000 trucks would not suffice to transport it all in a single night. They hurried over to check on their slumbering colleagues, but stumbled upon 2 uninvited guests within the premises. Although the night shift personnel had colluded with Su Shuai, the others did not recognize him. Upon discovering outsiders present, they swiftly bound Su Shuai and the truck driver before contacting the warehouse manager. Within half an hour, the manager arrived, initially incredulous over the phone regarding the disappearance of such a significant amount of inventory overnight. However, upon witnessing the desolate expanse of the warehouse, his mind went blank, and he sank down onto the floor in disbelief. The situation had escalated beyond his control and necessitated a report to higher authorities. By the time the general manager and shareholders of Fuyuan Supermarket arrived, Su Shuai and the others remained unconscious. It could only be surmised that Lin Yi had administered an excessively potent dose. Concerned they might awaken, Lin Yi had tripled the dosage, and the fact that they had not succumbed to poisoning was a testament to their resilience. Su Shuai's parents, being major shareholders in the company, were promptly informed. The news of their son's presence at the scene startled them, as they were unaware of his clandestine activities involving the illicit sale of warehouse goods. By 10 o'clock in the morning, a fleet of police cars and ambulances had arrived outside the warehouse. The more than 10 individuals sprawled on the ground were handcuffed and transported to the ambulances. With such a substantial loss of inventory, all present were deemed suspects. With Su Shuai and the driver under the most scrutiny, the half-loaded truck made their intentions abundantly clear. In an effort to divert the blame onto Su Shuai, Lin Yi had deliberately left all the items inside the truck untouched. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Su Shuai and the others slowly regained consciousness. As Su Shuai opened his eyes, he gazed around in confusion, vaguely recalling that he had been moving items in the warehouse. How had he ended up in this predicament? Moreover, he found himself shackled. Had his theft of warehouse goods been discovered? Yet, Su Shuai felt no anxiety. His parents were the principal shareholders of the company. Even if he had taken a few items, what consequence could it possibly have? After all, they belonged to his family. He could simply explain to his mother that he had acted out of financial desperation. Su Shuai's mother was exceedingly indulgent towards him, with just a hint of a pout. She would effortlessly resolve any issue he faced. Upon his awakening, the officer assigned to watch over him promptly reported to his superior. 10 minutes later, a middle-aged man clad in police uniform approached him and inquired directly, "Are you Su Shuai?" Accustomed to his domineering ways, Su Shuai was taken aback by such straightforwardness. Responding without restraint, he retorted, "I am, so what? Why am I locked up? Do you know who my father is? Release me at once, or I will ensure you regret it." The middle-aged officer, unfazed by his outburst, continued, "Did you steal the items from the Fuyuan warehouse?" Su Shuai raised his chin defiantly and declared, "So what if I did? They are essentially my family's belongings. I can take as much as I desire. What business is it of yours?" Chapter 21. The mastermind behind the theft. Su Shui, the officer, finally ceased engaging in futile dialogue and stood up to leave. He had not anticipated the case would unravel so effortlessly. The suspect had confessed upon awakening. All that remained was to ascertain the identities of the accomplices and the whereabouts of the stolen goods. After the officer's departure, Su Shui's shouts echoed behind him. "Let me go? I need to contact my mother. Return my phone. I must call her." Su Shui, brimming with misplaced confidence, believed that his parents' influence would easily extricate him from this predicament. It was only when he was taken from the hospital to the police station that he began to sense the gravity of the situation. Through the inquiries of the officers, he learned that the entirety of the warehouse's inventory had been stolen. This revelation left him in a state of shock. He had merely pilfered a few items to exchange for money, totaling less than $1 million. Now, however, an entire warehouse worth $500 billion had vanished, and he found himself the prime suspect. The other staff members had been quick to implicate him, claiming they acted under his instructions. Faced with the enormity of the loss, they felt compelled to confess their actions, including shutting down the surveillance and power systems at Su Shui's behest. With the absence of surveillance footage, the fate of the missing goods became an enigma. The police had scrutinized all nearby road cameras without discovering any evidence of numerous trucks transporting the stolen items. To transport all of this inventory would require at least 100 large trucks making multiple trips. Lin Yi observed the online reports regarding the heist at the Fuyuan warehouse with a slight smile. It seemed unlikely that the goods would ever be recovered unless someone voluntarily came forward to confess. Otherwise, it would remain an unsolved mystery. Su Shui was likely to bear the brunt of the blame. Even though his parents were major shareholders in Fuyuan supermarket, their wealth would not save their son. Under pressure from the other shareholders, they could only strive to soothe the situation, hoping to lessen their son's suffering while he faced the consequences. Su Shui's parents visited the detention center to see him. As soon as they met, Su Guangliang struck his son across the face. Su Shui's mother hastily intervened, while a nearby prison guard rushed to separate them. Su Guangliang furiously berated Su Shui, calling him a beast. He scolded, "It's one thing to fool around with women, but to steal from your own home? Is the money I give you each month insufficient? Where have you hidden those goods? If you don't speak up, I will beat you to death." Su Shui, holding his reddened cheek, looked at his father in disbelief. Su Guangliang had only become a father at the age of 40, and he had always indulged Su Shui, never raising his voice against him, let alone resorting to violence. He never anticipated that his father would strike him today, and it hurt even more that his beloved mother remained silent. This left Su Shui feeling as if his parents no longer loved him. He then sat down in silence, his face cold, ignoring everything Su Guangliang said, as if he were deaf to his father's words. Seeing his son in such a state, Su Guangliang felt a sense of despair. The loss of over 500 billion in goods was overwhelming. Although he possessed some wealth, covering the losses would plunge him into bankruptcy and leave him in debt. When visiting hours ended, the couple sighed and reluctantly left the detention center, glancing back 3 times. Su Shui had caused a catastrophic mess, and they felt powerless to help him, not from a lack of compassion, but from an inability to intervene. Su Shui had a history of troublemaking. Spoiled throughout his childhood, he had a violent temper and frequently resorted to violence, with Su Guangliang always footing the bill to resolve the aftermath. Just months earlier, Su Shui had even raped a mother and her 12-year-old daughter. It was only through considerable bribery that Su Guangliang managed to manipulate high-ranking officials to fabricate evidence and hire a legion of internet trolls to spread rumors, claiming the mother and daughter were attempting to extort Su Shui. However, this time, he could not shield his son. On the 3rd day of Su Shui's detention, Wang Xue and her 2 companions returned to the Sichuan community. They had previously enjoyed their stay in Su Shui's villa, but suddenly found themselves unable to contact him. Zhang Qian stumbled upon news online revealing Su Shui's involvement in the theft of 500 billion worth of goods from the Fuyuan warehouse, leading to his arrest. After deliberation, the trio decided to sever ties with Su Shui. Although they felt reluctant to lose their benefactor, they feared being implicated as his accomplices. Better to sever ties than risk greater losses. While Su Shui was subjected to relentless police interrogations, Lin Yi busied himself. Every evening after work, he would head to his rented warehouse to collect supplies. In addition to various meats, vegetables, and firewood, Lin Yi also established connections with suppliers of bottled water and grains. He signed procurement agreements, ordering a total of 10,000 tons of potable mineral water and several thousand tons of rice, flour, and seasonings. Trucks lined up daily to enter and exit Lin Yi's warehouse. Lin Yi found himself compelled to hire 5 or 6 forklift operators, along with over 10 loading and unloading workers, all of whom were entrusted to Su Mo for management. On the 3rd day, the banquet from the 5-star hotel was delivered, and that evening, while Su Mo and the others were absent, Lin Yi surreptitiously stowed away 1,000 banquet tables into the alternate space. Although Su Mo had pondered why the goods delivered during the day vanished by the next, his intelligence prevented him from inquiring further. As long as Lin Yi was willing to provide him with funds to cover his mother's medical expenses, Lin Yi was considered his benefactor, rendering all else insignificant. Time swiftly advanced to June 1st, Children's Day, marking a full month since Lin Yi's rebirth. After a month of meticulous preparation, the resources in the alternate space were plentiful, boasting not only 500 billion worth of goods from Fuyuan supermarket, but also several hundred million worth of food that he had procured. He had only paid a deposit for these items, with the balance due in 2 months, yet it seemed unlikely they would last until then. Following Lin Yi's extensive purchases, the prices in Haijing City had surged, and Fuyuan supermarket suffered significant losses due to the recent theft, forcing several large supermarkets in the city to cease operations. Lin Yi speculated whether this was a butterfly effect triggered by his return. The prices in Haijing City had nearly doubled, with many attributing the cause to the theft at Fuyuan supermarket. They believed that in due time, prices would revert to normal levels, which dissuaded many food hoarders from making further large purchases. Consequently, when the apocalypse arrived, their endurance would undoubtedly be far shorter than in Lin Yi's previous life. Chapter 22. Exposure of spatial abilities. Reclining on the grand bed in the hotel, Lin Yi contemplated his supplies, feeling that he was thoroughly prepared. He had amassed a plethora of food, drink, clothing, and necessities. Just as he felt invulnerable, a sudden realization struck him. He smacked his forehead in disbelief. He had completely forgotten to purchase medications. In the aftermath of the apocalypse, many would succumb not only to freezing or starvation, but also to severe illnesses brought on by abrupt temperature drops, with a lack of treatment leading to fatalities. While pharmacies could provide medications, the quantity he required was substantial, rendering them an impractical option. Rising to dress, Lin Yi noticed Li Ro still asleep beside him. He had arranged to trade for fuel today. Initially, the delivery had been scheduled for a week later, but the sheer volume he requested necessitated a delay of several days. Observing the woman who had kept him company for a month, Lin Yi recalled that since he had threatened Lu Wei, Li Ro had severed ties with him. Their relationship, after all, had been one of superficial desire and ambition rather than genuine affection. However, after spending considerable time with Li Ro, it was impossible for Lin Yi to claim that no feelings had developed. He considered extending a helping hand, for after all, a night spent together fosters bonds that last far longer. They had shared numerous nights together. However, she must assess whether she can indeed reside in her own sanctuary. It is impossible for her to move in before the impending doom. Should fortune smile upon her, and she survive beyond the cataclysm, Lin Yi might extend an opportunity to her. Though she may not ascend to the status of the principal consort, becoming a secondary wife would still be a favorable arrangement. After Lin Yi departed from the hotel, Li Ro opened her eyes and quickly got dressed before heading out. As she made her way down the street and spotted Lin Yi getting into his car, she swiftly retrieved her keys, started her vehicle, and followed him. Lin Yi, humming a tune as he drove, headed straight for the abandoned repair shop where their last transaction had occurred, oblivious to Li Ro's pursuit. Li Ro's eagerness to respond to Lin Yi's summons stemmed from her desire to keep him complacent. Through their interactions, although Lin Yi had shared nothing of substance, she had observed his peculiar behavior of late, as he seemed engrossed in undisclosed activities. Since Lin Yi held leverage over her, she resolved to take a risk and shadow him to escape his control. Upon arriving at the repair shop, Lin Yi settled in to wait. Witnessing him enter the dilapidated facility only strengthened Li Ro's conviction that he harbored secrets. She parked discreetly at the roadside and stealthily approached the premises. Half an hour later, as Lin Yi grew increasingly impatient, 2 large trucks measuring 9 meters in length rolled in. Once the vehicles halted, 5 or 6 men disembarked, including the bald man from their previous encounter. "Apologies, Mr. Wang, for our tardiness," Lin Yi replied with a faint smile. "No worries, good things come to those who wait. I have ample time." The bald man promptly began directing the unloading of goods. As the truck doors swung open, barrels of fuel filled the cargo area. Lin Yi inspected several barrels and, upon confirming their integrity, felt a wave of relief. He estimated that the shipment totaled over 100 tons, double his previous request. He retrieved the agreed-upon payment from his trunk and handed it to the bald man. An hour later, the repair shop was brimming with fuel, and the bald man collected the money. Just as he was about to leave, Lin Yi called out to him once more. "Brother, please wait a moment." The bald man turned back, puzzled. Lin Yi then inquired, "Can you procure medications? I require anything for colds, fevers, or emergency antibiotics." The bald man scratched his head and replied, "Mr. Wang, what exactly do you do? Why do you need so many different items?" Lin Yi's smile faded. "What I intend to do with them is not your concern. Just tell me if you can acquire them." The bald man sighed, contemplating the matter before responding. "I truly cannot help with that, but I have a friend who specializes in the pharmaceutical trade, dealing exclusively with genuine products. You needn't worry about counterfeit medications. Given that you are a valued customer, I can assist in contacting him." Lin Yi expressed his gratitude and added, "I require 10 million worth of medications. As long as you can ensure their acquisition, I will not forget your assistance." Upon observing Lin Yi's astuteness, the bald man finally revealed a smile. As merchants engaged in perilous trades, their primary concern lies in profit. He would not undertake such risks without a tangible benefit. After instructing Lin Yi to await his news, the bald man departed with his associates. Lin Yi then commenced the task of collecting the spilled fuel, drawing it into an alternate space. Li Ro, concealed behind a wall outside the courtyard, initially felt intimidated by the throng entering the premises and refrained from approaching. Only after they had left, yet with Lin Yi still absent, did she muster the courage to peer over the wall into the repair shop. What she witnessed next left her agape. The entire workshop was strewn with metal barrels filled with fuel. With a mere wave of his right hand, Lin Yi made the barrels around him vanish instantaneously. Believing her eyes to be deceiving her, she rubbed them vigorously, only to confirm the reality of her sight. Hastily, she retrieved her phone, activated the camera, and began recording Lin Yi. In just over a minute, the spilled fuel had been entirely absorbed into the alternate space. Unbeknownst to Lin Yi, who drove away towards Haijing City, Li Ro struggled to steady her breath, replaying the video on her phone multiple times. Lin Yi's supernatural ability instilled in her a profound fear. Initially, she had merely sought to gather incriminating evidence against him to free herself from his coercion. However, having uncovered such a significant secret, her trepidation towards him intensified, leading her to ponder whether Lin Yi could possibly be an extraterrestrial being. Despite now possessing leverage over him, she found herself reluctant to threaten him further. After leaving the repair shop, Lin Yi proceeded directly to his warehouse, arriving at noon. Upon his arrival, he noticed Su Mo and others partaking in lunch. Given the larger gathering, meal arrangements had become a challenge, prompting Lin Yi to order lunch from a nearby restaurant, which would be delivered at the appointed time. Seeing his employer arrive, Su Mo promptly set down his lunch to greet Lin Yi. The latter gestured for him to continue eating, explaining that he had merely stopped by to check on things, as the repair shop was nearby. Lin Yi, also without a meal, seized a nearby box and sat beside Su Mo to dine. Understanding that the laborers engaged in strenuous work, he opted not to order based on headcount. Instead, he arranged for meals sufficient for 2 per person, with additional provisions as well. While Lin Yi often appeared cold and unfeeling towards others, he never neglected those who worked for him, as he did not mind the expense of the lunches. As he savored his meal, he engaged in conversation with Su Mo. Through their dialogue, he learned that Su Mo hailed from a rural background, and his mother was gravely ill, requiring a surgery costing 300,000 yuan. Despite having sold everything they could, his family had only managed to gather 170,000. Lin Yi felt a wave of empathy wash over him. While some struggled fiercely for mere tens of thousands in medical expenses, he recognized how fortunate he had been in comparison. After finishing his meal, Lin Yi did not linger, giving the surroundings a cursory glance before departing. He had other matters to attend to today. Upon leaving the warehouse in his car, he headed straight to a Mercedes-Benz dealership in the city, intent on purchasing a vehicle capable of traversing snowy terrain. Although he was uncertain when the heavy snowfall would cease, it was prudent to be prepared for any eventuality. With temperatures plummeting outside, relying solely on his legs to navigate after the snow stopped would be futile. The cold was particularly concerning, as an ordinary person could succumb to the elements in mere moments, perishing from the bitter chill. Prolonged exposure to the frigid air could even inflict irreversible damage on the respiratory system. Upon parking his vehicle at the dealership entrance, Lin Yi was approached by a woman clad in a sales uniform before he even stepped into the lobby. She stood approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, adorned with high heels, while a pair of black stockings accentuated her legs exquisitely. Lin Yi's interest was piqued. Although her beauty did not quite reach the level of Wang Xue, she was certainly comparable to Li Ro, earning a commendable score of 80. "Good day, sir. Are you here to view some vehicles?" the woman inquired, slightly bending at the waist in a respectful manner. Lin Yi merely nodded, his gaze unwavering, fixated on her alluring legs. The woman, sensing the assertiveness in Lin Yi's gaze, remained unfazed. After all, affluent clientele frequented such establishments, and her appearance often drew men who were eager to engage, with some even purchasing luxury cars for her sake. Through their conversation, Lin Yi learned that her name was Su Ying, a 25-year-old who had been in automotive sales for a mere year, yet had already become the top salesperson at the dealership. Observing Su Ying's graceful figure, Lin Yi could surmise how she attained such status. Upon discovering his desire for an off-road vehicle, she first recommended a G-Class, a high-end model priced between 3 to 4 million. Should Lin Yi decide to purchase it, Her commission would amount to a substantial sum. However, after circling the vehicle, Lin Yi found himself dissatisfied. Although the car's performance was commendable, he lacked confidence in his ability to maneuver it through the snow. Noticing Lin Yi's displeasure, Su Ying felt a twinge of disappointment. Her experience had taught her that many potential buyers, unable to afford pricier options yet unwilling to appear less discerning, often nitpicked and found faults. She assumed Lin Yi was one of those individuals, yet she maintained her cheerful demeanor out of professional obligation. With a sigh, Lin Yi addressed Su Ying. "This vehicle is decent, but it does not meet my standards." Su Ying thought to herself, as anticipated. To her surprise, Lin Yi continued, "Is there a more expensive option available? Price is not a concern, but I require top-tier off-road capability." Su Ying was momentarily taken aback by Lin Yi's request. After a brief pause, her expression brightened as she replied, "Yes, sir, please follow me." She then led Lin Yi to another vehicle, the Unimog U8000. The latest model of the year, currently ranks first among off-road vehicles worldwide. This limited edition is the only one available in Haijing City. Lin Yi gazed at the imposing steel beast, nearly 3 meters in height, with palpable admiration. With this vehicle, there would be no place he could not traverse in a post-apocalyptic world. Upon inquiring about the price, he learned that the top-tier Unimog required 10 million. Without hesitation, Lin Yi decided to purchase it. The payment method was, of course, through a mortgage. Having withdrawn all his funds from the stock market, he was left with just over 20 million in his account. With an additional 10 million needed for medicine, he realized he had to be frugal with his remaining funds. Su Ying accompanied Lin Yi to complete the paperwork, where a 30% down payment was required. He swiped his card for 3 million, while the dealership would handle the remaining details. Once the vehicle was registered and insured, Lin Yi could collect it. Before departing, Lin Yi added Su Ying's contact information. Knowing that his assistance in boosting her sales would likely be reciprocated, he saw no reason to refuse such an opportunity, as it was not akin to illicit indulgence. As long as it remained lawful, he had little to worry about. As Lin Yi settled into his new vehicle, Su Ying escorted him until he drove away, only returning to the dealership once he was out of sight. After leaving the dealership, Lin Yi did not return to the hotel, but instead headed to the Chuangxin community. Since handing over the keys to Luo Jun, he had not revisited, and it was time to inspect the progress of their work. Upon entering the community, he noticed several trucks arriving, neatly laden with rows of steel plates. Although described as steel plates, their thickness exceeded 10 centimeters, and Lin Yi knew they were intended for his residence. Parking his vehicle, Lin Yi intended to head directly home, but was interrupted by a commotion at the entrance, accompanied by the sound of honking cars. Curiosity piqued, he abandoned his original plan to investigate. It was not that he relished chaos, but the trucks had been halted by the security guards at the community entrance, prompting his immediate attention. Upon arrival, he found several security personnel in a standoff with the delivery drivers, and at that moment, Luo Jun also appeared at the entrance. Seeing Lin Yi, Luo Jun rushed to explain the situation. Since the renovation of Lin Yi's home had commenced, an abundance of materials was required, necessitating frequent deliveries from their company's trucks. Although Lin Yi had previously notified the property management and had even paid a substantial renovation deposit, the property staff continued to create obstacles for them. Chapter 24. Property manager Fong, who after listening to Luo Jun's account, Lin Yi understood the situation clearly. The property management of the Chuangxin community has always operated in this manner. The manager, Fong Hu, once a local ruffian, fortuitously aligned himself with the owner of the community's developer, which led to his current position. Since assuming this role, he has scarcely resolved any issues for the residents. Yet he has been prolific in creating difficulties. Whenever a conflict arises with a resident, he gathers his former associates to lurk at their doorsteps, instigating intimidation against the families. Several households, fearing for their loved one's safety, have reluctantly sold their homes and departed. What lingers most vividly in Lin Yi's memory is that Fong Hu was among those who participated in his past demise. Although he did not wield the blade himself, he played a pivotal role, leading Lin Yi to suspect him as the mastermind. However, Lin Yi is not inclined to stir trouble at present. Vengeance can await a more opportune time. Thus, he called Fong Hu directly. The security guard's ability to halt the delivery truck undoubtedly stemmed from Fong Hu's clandestine orders. Shortly after Lin Yi ended the call, a tipsy Fong Hu emerged from the community's management office, having spent the previous night drinking with his comrades until the early hours, only to be roused by Lin Yi's call. Sporting spectacles and casual attire, he appeared refined, yet those familiar with him understood the darkness lurking within, earning him the moniker Smiling Tiger. Upon reaching the entrance, Fong Hu addressed Lin Yi, asserting that the community prohibits outside delivery trucks from entering. Lin Yi was well aware of the community's rules, which do not include such a prohibition, as long as residents notify the management in advance for moving or renovations. Unrestricted access is permitted. Fang Hu was clearly attempting to extort Lin Yi. Nevertheless, Lin Yi chose not to engage in a dispute. Constructing a sanctuary remained his foremost priority, and other grievances could be settled when the time was right. Pulling Fang Hu aside, Lin Yi discreetly produced 2 bundles of crisp 100-yuan bills and pressed them into Fang Hu's hands. Seeing this, Fang Hu erupted in hearty laughter, patting Lin Yi on the shoulder before turning to reprimand the guards. Who instructed you to stop the vehicle? Lin Yi had already notified the management. Didn't I tell you this before? Let them through immediately. Lin Yi's gaze, icy and penetrating, bore into Fang Hu's back, a look reminiscent of one destined for vengeance. Fang Hu had secured a place on Lin Yi's list of retribution. After enduring Fang Hu's tirade, the guards offered no defense and hastily raised the barrier. Having collaborated with Fang Hu in this manner before, they were well acquainted with his methods. With the guards permitting entry, Luo Jun signaled the drivers to board their vehicles and navigate them to the base of the building. Subsequently, arrangements were made to begin transporting the goods upstairs. Following Luo Jun into the elevator, Lin Yi arrived on the 26th floor, where the apartment had undergone a remarkable transformation. Most of the walls have vanished, replaced by alloy panels, leaving only the ceiling and floor yet to be adorned with this material. The alloy panels that arrived today are intended for the installation of the ceiling and flooring. Lin Yi has a preference for floor-to-ceiling windows. Thus, the bulletproof glass used is a single piece, with only a few small openings as per his specifications. Adjacent to this, there exists a small door that provides direct access to the balcony. Such a substantial item could not possibly be transported via the elevator. It was hoisted up using steel cables from above. Lin Yi felt a twinge of curiosity. From what he understood, his neighbors were not particularly amiable. While ordinary renovations might have been tolerable, his ostentatious remodeling was bound to cause disturbances. Surely, there would be individuals coming to complain? In response to his inquiry, Luo Jun explained that initially, there had indeed been frequent visits from disgruntled residents, 4 or 5 groups daily. However, this changed dramatically after he invested a considerable sum in purchasing a large quantity of eggs to distribute among the elderly residents of the building. The influx of visitors dwindled significantly thereafter. Furthermore, he assured them that for every day he undertook renovations, they could collect 10 pounds of eggs. The allure of free eggs proved irresistible to the elderly, and they ceased their complaints, with some even expressing a desire for Luo Jun to continue his renovations for a few more days. Lin Yi immediately gave Luo Jun a thumbs up. Even though gifting eggs daily was not a significant expenditure, it effectively resolved a major inconvenience. A quintessential example of spending little to achieve a great outcome. Lin Yi promptly declared that he would cover the costs and subsequently transferred 10,000 yuan to Luo Jun, sufficient to purchase several truckloads of eggs. Having lingered for a while amidst the chaotic scene, Lin Yi opted not to burden Luo Jun further and decided to take his leave. As he passed by Wang Xue's residence, he paused to notice the pile of takeout boxes at her door, indicating that she had not ventured outside in recent days. Ever since she became involved with the affluent Su Shuai, Wang Xue and her companions had resigned from their jobs, intending to focus on being the pampered canaries in Su Shuai's home. However, the unexpected turn of events, Su Shuai's arrest, had left them in a precarious situation, now facing inquiries at the police station. Fearing repercussions, the women hastily moved out, yet without any income. They found themselves resorting to idleness at home while searching for new prospects. Fortunately, prior to his arrest, Su Shuai had gifted them numerous designer handbags and shoes, which, when sold, provided them with enough funds to sustain themselves. Otherwise, they would have struggled to afford even their daily meals. Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a sense of schadenfreude at the plight of the 3 women, though he dismissed it lightly, considering them mere trifles. Let them endure a bit of hardship. After all, he had grander gifts in store for them when the time came. As Lin Yi prepared to drive away, he suddenly received a call from Wang Xue. Intrigued by her intent, he pressed the answer button. On the other end, Wang Xue's voice came through, sultry and inviting. "Ego, are you at the Chaochuan community? I just saw you." Lin Yi raised his gaze towards the 20th floor. To an ordinary person, the distance would render everything unclear, yet Lin Yi's eyes, enhanced by extraordinary abilities, discerned a figure within the window. Indeed, it was Wang Xue. "Yes, the house is undergoing renovations. I felt uneasy, so I came to take a look," Lin Yi replied nonchalantly. "Do you have time tonight? The previous matters were all Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang's ideas. I would like to treat you to dinner, as a way to make amends on their behalf." A cold smirk flickered in Lin Yi's heart. What a clever Wang Xue. Shifting all blame onto others while absolving herself entirely. Chapter 25. Threats. Wait a moment. Could it be that they have set their sights on me? Surely, I cannot be that unfortunate. Lin Yi's intuition proved correct. Ever since they returned from Su Shuai's villa, They had discovered Lin Yi's house was under renovation. A slight sacrifice of their allure allowed them to glean information from the renovation workers' chatter. Lin Yi had poured tens of millions into this transformation. Learning of Lin Yi's wealth ignited their schemes anew. After deliberation, the three resolved to target Lin Yi. After all, he had once been utterly devoted to Wang Xue, bringing her breakfast every morning during their university days, almost as if preparing a meal for her boyfriend as well. They had ample means to rekindle his infatuation with Wang Xue. The trio surmised that Lin Yi's recent changes stemmed from jealousy. As soon as Wang Xue declared her breakup with Su Shuai, Lin Yi would surely return to her side. With their decision made, they spotted Lin Yi in the community and instructed Wang Xue to call him, inviting him to dinner that evening. If Lin Yi remained stubbornly silent, Wang Xue could drop hints or even agree to be his girlfriend, an aspiration Lin Yi had harbored for years. Once Wang Xue relented, how could Lin Yi resist? I have no time, Lin Yi replied without a second thought. Ever since he had seen the true nature of Wang Xue and her companions, he felt a wave of disgust at the mere thought of dining with her. Wang Xue, taken aback by his swift rejection, remembered her mission and continued. Don't rush to refuse. After dinner, we could watch a movie together. Zhang Qian and Yang Shuang retire early, and if it gets too late, I could stay at your place. But you mustn't do anything strange, okay? Lin Yi smiled slightly. Wang Xue certainly had a way with words. Her last remark carried an air of veiled implication, as if reminding him to refrain from any odd behavior. No wonder Su Shuai was so entranced by these women. However, such tactics held no allure for Lin Yi. Now that he had unveiled their true selves, he refused to be ensnared again. Even if a free meal was offered, he would not indulge. At present, he could summon a woman with ease, not to mention Li Ro, who was always available. Even the saleswoman from his car purchase had a line of admirers waiting behind her. Lin Yi spoke with a tone of derision. Are you being frivolous? After all these years, do you think I am unaware of your true nature? Surely, Su Shuai's downfall has prompted you to seek a new prey, hasn't it? Apologies, but I am not to your taste. With that, Lin Yi hung up the phone decisively and returned to his car, heading back to the hotel. On the other end, Wang Xue listened as the line went dead, her teeth clenched in disbelief. She never imagined that Lin Yi, who had once shown her such care, would utter such hurtful words. Even if he spoke the truth, she had indeed regarded Lin Yi as Su Shuai's backup. She had lowered herself to be his girlfriend, and he should have felt grateful. How dare he speak to her in such a manner? Wang Xue had the phone on speaker, so her companions Yang Shuang and Zhang Qian overheard Lin Yi's mockery as well. Before Wang Xue could respond, the two erupted in indignation, hurling insults at Lin Yi. That bastard. I knew he was no good. His sudden change in attitude must be due to newfound wealth. Now that he has money, he looks down on our Xue. What a heartless scoundrel. Exactly. He is just like Chen Shimi, fickle and disloyal. He probably has someone else on the side already. Listening to her friends, Wang Xue found their suspicions plausible. However, she excelled in the role of the third party, and with the three of them united, she was confident they could easily reclaim Lin Yi. After all, which man could resist the allure of three beautiful women? Even Su Shuai had succumbed to their relentless advances, let alone Lin Yi, a nouveau riche. With these thoughts in mind, the trio began devising a plan to ensnare Lin Yi. Upon returning to the hotel, Lin Yi called Li Ro, requesting her company. Naturally, the venue was the hotel they frequently frequented. However, the usually obedient Li Ro did not acquiesce immediately. Instead, she proposed they meet at a restaurant. Just as Lin Yi was about to decline, a notification chimed from his phone. Upon inspection, he discovered it was a video sent by Li Ro. The angle of the footage suggested it had been surreptitiously recorded, but what shocked Lin Yi was its content. He saw himself gesturing around, causing a multitude of oil cans to vanish instantaneously. He recalled that moment vividly. It was when he had gone to purchase fuel. To his astonishment, Li Ro had stealthily followed him and captured the scene on her phone. He realized he had underestimated Li Ro. Her ascent through Lu Wei's ranks was no mere coincidence. A surge of menace flickered in Lin Yi's eyes. All threats to his safety must be eradicated in their infancy. Consequently, he promptly agreed to meet Li Ro over the phone. After dressing, he departed the hotel and arrived at the designated restaurant, reserving a private room and sending the room number to Li Ro. He then awaited her arrival in silence. After a little over 10 minutes, Li Ro entered, clad in a stylish trench coat. Her demeanor exuded confidence, as though she believed she had Lin Yi completely under her control. After finding a seat for herself, she crossed her legs and addressed Lin Yi. Brother Yi, have you watched the video I sent you? What are your thoughts on it? Lin Yi remained silent, merely casting a cold gaze at Li Ro. Noticing his demeanor, Li Ro continued, no wonder you know my secret. It turns out you possess a special ability. Since we both harbor secrets, let us call it even. I 1T disclose yours, and you 1T betray me, alright? Special ability? Lin Yi found the term peculiar, but nodded nonetheless. Relieved by his acquiescence, Li Ro leaned in conspiratorially and said, "Can others learn this ability of yours? If you would teach me, I would be yours, willing to do anything you desire." Though Lin Yi's expression remained impassive, his inner thoughts were filled with expletives. Did she really wish to learn? Even if he were inclined to teach her, she would never grasp it. And to threaten him? Surviving until her secret was revealed would be quite the feat at this moment. Lin Yi felt no compassion for Li Ro. She had encroached upon his safety. While beauty may be alluring, it paled in comparison to the imperative of security. He discerned the weight of priorities clearly, recognizing Lin Yi's indifference. Li Ro understood that her hope of learning was futile and promptly abandoned the notion. Chapter 26. Prepared supplies. With their discussion concluded, Li Ro prepared to leave. Lin Yi watched her retreating figure, forcefully restraining himself from terminating her right then and there. The city center was rife with surveillance, making any violent action unwise. After Li Ro departed, Lin Yi hastily exited the private room and discreetly followed her. Previously, Li Ro had trailed him and uncovered his secret. Now, it was Lin Yi's turn to shadow her, seeking an opportunity to eliminate her and obliterate any evidence. Once Li Ro returned home from the restaurant, Lin Yi saw no further chance to pursue and decided to return to the hotel. The next day, upon arriving at the company, Lin Yi submitted his resignation. With the apocalypse looming in just over 2 weeks, he had no desire to squander his time on work. He had previously refrained from resigning due to the need for stock market gains, but that necessity was now obsolete. The HR manager promptly informed General Manager Lu Wei of Lin Yi's resignation. Lu Wei was elated to hear this news. Every time he encountered Lin Yi at the company, he felt a twinge of guilt. His departure was a relief, out of sight, out of mind. He instructed the HR manager to process Lin Yi's paperwork and even granted him an additional half-year's salary. As soon as Lin Yi stepped out of the company's doors, he received a phone call and subsequently drove to the repair shop where he had previously conducted business. This time, he was cautious, carefully checking for any followers before ensuring his safety and entering the shop. What followed was the usual wait. The bald man seemed oblivious to the concept of time, making Lin Yi wait an additional half-hour for each transaction. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, a large truck rolled into the repair shop. The bald man descended from the vehicle. This marked the third transaction between him and Lin Yi, and their familiarity had grown significantly. The process remained unchanged: inspection, unloading, and payment. Lin Yi once again expended 10 million, leaving him with merely 7 million in his account. The assortment of pharmaceuticals in the vehicle was extensive, encompassing everything from cold and fever remedies to anti-inflammatory drugs, along with ample supplies of bandages and treatments for injuries, even including several packets of rapid-acting heart pills and numerous asthma medications. After several workers unloaded the goods onto the ground, the bald man exchanged a brief greeting with Lin Yi before departing. As Lin Yi watched the man's retreating figure, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. Without him, procuring such a vast array of items alone would have been an insurmountable challenge. Silently, he sent blessings to the man before commencing his own tasks. Within a minute, the boxes of medications were seamlessly transferred into his alternate space. This space was meticulously organized into various sections: food, pharmaceuticals, water, daily necessities, fuel, firewood, and weapons. Each category distinctly separated. After ensuring the medications were properly stored, Lin Yi made his way to the warehouse he had rented. Today's delivery comprised the final batch of supplies, and once these items were collected, he would no longer need to return for further acquisitions. Upon his arrival at the warehouse, he found Su Mo registering the incoming goods. Lin Yi chose not to disturb him and instead found a spot to sit down, engaging with his phone while perusing online reports regarding the disappearance of supplies from the Fuyuan supermarket. Some time had elapsed since the incident. Yet aside from the apprehension of Su Shuai and several warehouse administrators, the police had made little progress in the case. The number of thieves remained unknown, as did the manner in which the goods were transported away or their ultimate destination. The authorities seemed to know nothing. After reading for a while, Lin Yi stumbled upon news about the dramatic spike in prices in Haijing City within just a month. Numerous experts began urging the public not to hoard excessively, asserting that the price increase was merely temporary and would revert to normal levels within a month. While these experts were not entirely mistaken, prices might indeed decrease were it not for the impending apocalypse. The common folk might not live to see that day. Lin Yi spent 2 hours on his phone, and by then, the last vehicle had completed its loading and left the warehouse. Su Mo and the unloading workers began preparing to rest. Lin Yi stowed his phone away and called everyone over. Once the group had gathered, Lin Yi retrieved a handful of red envelopes from his backpack, distributing them among the workers, each containing 20,000 yuan. Though he initially offered a wage of 10,000 per person for a month's work, he ultimately decided to double it. He considered it a means to secure peace of mind, as he could easily afford the expenditure. The workers, upon receiving their envelopes, expressed their heartfelt gratitude, having never encountered such a generous employer before. As they departed, they implored Lin Yi to consider them for any future work opportunities. Lin Yi nodded in agreement, assuring them he would keep them in mind. After everyone had departed, Suemo found himself alone in the warehouse. The reason Lin Yi had refrained from giving him a red envelope earlier was to offer him something privately. Lin Yi observed the earnest expression on Sumo's face and retrieved a bundle of 100 yuan bills from his backpack, amounting to 20 stacks, and handed them to Suemo. Suemo stared at the money in his hands, momentarily at a loss. Lin Yi spoke gently. Last time you mentioned your mother was awaiting funds for surgery, needing over 100,000. Here, there are 200,000. Take this to help your mother. Suemo gazed intently at Lin Yi, tears welling in his eyes, and then knelt before him. Lin Yi hastily assisted him to his feet and continued, "You have been an immense help to me. Thanks to you, everything has gone smoothly, alleviating my worries. You truly deserve this." Wiping his tears, Suemo said, "Brother Yi, I cannot accept this money. Your funds are not simply blown in by the wind. Even in my poverty, I cannot take your money without hesitation." Lin Yi smiled slightly and replied, "Do you think I'm giving this to you for free? Only 20,000 is your salary, the rest is a loan. Take it to ensure your mother receives her surgery. Her condition cannot be delayed." Upon hearing Lin Yi's words, Suemo finally acquiesced. However, he insisted on writing an IOU, affixing his thumbprint. Lin Yi tucked the IOU into his pocket. And just as Suemo was about to leave, Lin Yi pondered for a moment before advising, "There may be a disaster in 2 weeks. If possible, it would be wise to stock up on food at home." Suemo nodded in response, trusting Lin Yi implicitly, even if nothing were to happen. Acquiring extra food would not be a burden. Watching Suemo depart, Lin Yi smiled faintly and subsequently tore up the IOU. Ultimately, he had softened his heart. He could be ruthless towards those who had wronged him in the past, but when it came to those who had offered their assistance, he found it difficult to be harsh. Ah well, let this be an act of kindness before the impending doom, a means to soothe his own conscience. Chapter 27. The first kill. Once the area was clear, Lin Yi began collecting the supplies. 10 minutes later, he secured the now empty warehouse. It was unlikely he would return here again. After leaving, he drove towards the hotel. En route, Lin Yi suddenly received a call from Li Ro, instructing him to prepare 10 million in cash to exchange for his video at the repair shop where their previous transaction had taken place. Lin Yi realized that she was likely attempting to flee due to the impending exposure of her embezzlement and illicit affair with Lu Wei. Having been discovered, she no longer feared Lin Yi's threats. Lin Yi turned his car around, heading towards the repair shop. Today, he was determined to resolve matters with Li Ro, eliminating future threats. He understood that Li Ro had no escape. If captured, even without his video, she would reveal his secrets, leading to never-ending troubles for him. Upon arriving at the repair shop, Lin Yi found that Li Ro had yet to make her appearance. He parked his vehicle, readied his firearm, and began to wait. An hour later, Li Ro slowly drove into the garage, accompanied by a man in the passenger seat, none other than Lu Wei. It appeared that this illicit couple had reunited in the face of impending danger. As they exited the vehicle, they approached Lin Yi's car, with Lu Wei exhibiting peculiar behavior, keeping his right hand concealed within his jacket pocket. Upon reaching Lin Yi, Li Ro wasted no time and bluntly inquired, "Where's the money?" Lin Yi remained unmoved and retorted, "What about my video?" Li Ro offered a slight smile. "Who said I was going to give you the video? 10 million is merely our hush money. Once Lu Wei and I run out of cash, we'll still come looking for you. You're quite resourceful. I trust you won't miss this little sum, will you?" A fleeting glint of murderous intent flashed in Lin Yi's eyes as he turned towards the trunk of his car. Upon opening it, he revealed several travel bags. Just as Lin Yi prepared to retrieve them, Lu Wei suddenly sprang into action, drawing a handgun from his pocket and aiming it at Lin Yi's back, pulling the trigger. However, Lin Yi exhibited no reaction, merely turning around to coldly fix his gaze upon Lu Wei. Both were momentarily taken aback. They had previously conspired that, given Lin Yi's character, he would not passively succumb to their threats. They assumed he would inevitably seek to eliminate them, prompting their decision to act preemptively. The plan was to shoot him the moment they laid eyes on the money and then abscond with his funds. Lu Wei had even brought along a firearm he had painstakingly procured from the black market, convinced that, despite Lin Yi's peculiar abilities, he would not withstand a conventional weapon. To their astonishment, after Lu Wei fired the shot, Lin Yi remained unscathed, leading Lu Wei to doubt the authenticity of the weapon he had purchased. Lin Yi's immunity to harm stemmed from his experimentation, which had revealed the ability to materialize a spatial eye, forming an 11-sided square portal before him. Any object entering this portal would be directly absorbed into an alternate space, including bullets. Recognizing Lu Wei's unusual demeanor, Lin Yi devised a plan. If Lu Wei could acquire firearms, so too could others, and he had no intention of trusting this duplicitous pair. Thus, he had opened the spatial portal right in front of himself from the very beginning. Indeed, as Lin Yi reached for the money, Lu Wei fired at him once more. Seeing that the previous shot had caused Lin Yi no harm, Lu Wei again squeezed the trigger, aiming for Lin Yi's head and discharging all the bullets in the chamber. Yet, the outcome mirrored that of before. After unleashing a barrage of bullets, Lin Yi remained entirely unaffected, his smile only deepening. With a mere wave of his hand, the bullets that had entered the portal returned along their trajectory, transforming Lu Wei into a ragged mass. After Lu Wei breathed his last, Lin Yi nonchalantly retrieved Lu Wei's lifeless body and stored it within the alternate space before Li Ro's very eyes. At this moment, Li Ro was utterly paralyzed by the scene before her, collapsing to the ground, her gaze vacant and immobile. Lin Yi withdrew a handgun from the void and pressed it against her forehead. It was only then that Li Ro regained her senses, pleading with Lin Yi in desperation. "Brother Yi, I implore you, do not kill me. I swear I will keep your secrets. I am still of use to you. I am willing to be your woman. Or even your dog. Please, spare my life." Having witnessed her lover perish before her eyes, her emotions were in complete disarray. She could only hope that Lin Yi would show mercy, considering how well she had served him in the past. After her plea, Li Ro knelt on the ground, reaching out to unfasten Lin Yi's trousers. However, he kicked her away and fired a shot directly into her forehead. The sound of the gunshot echoed, and Li Ro fell to the ground, her face drenched in blood. This marked Lin Yi's first act of taking a life. Even now, his hands trembled slightly, as he had never anticipated that his first victim would be Li Ro and Lu Wei. Lin Yi had offered her opportunities. If Li Ro had dedicated herself wholeheartedly to serving him, he might have considered making her his woman and even aiding her in evading pursuit. He believed that once the next half-month had passed, she would no longer be in danger. After all, Li Ro possessed an alluring figure, and it seemed a pity to kill her outright. Yet, it was too late for such considerations. No matter how beautiful a woman was, if she did not share his allegiance, Lin Yi would not hesitate to act decisively. He tidied the scene, disposing of Li Ro's vehicle and the blood-stained bricks into the void, knowing that without a body, the police could not initiate an investigation. He could now await the impending doom in peace. When Lin Yi left, he did not drive. Instead, he stored his car in the void and retrieved an electric scooter to return to the city along the village paths. The police were currently searching for Lu Wei and his companions. Even if they were missing, the authorities would merely suspect they had gone into hiding, oblivious to Lin Yi's presence. Even the phone card Li Ro used to contact him was untraceable, purchased anonymously, making it nearly impossible for anyone to connect it back to him for at least a month. As Lin Yi rode his electric scooter along the rural roads, admiring the scenery, he received a call notifying him that his car was ready for pickup, the paperwork completed, and he could collect it at any time. With this news, he no longer needed to return to the hotel. He set off directly to the dealership on his little electric scooter. Upon entering the dealership, the saleswoman who had sold him the car last time approached him with a smile. Lin Yi remembered her name was Su Ying, and she still owed him something. Since he was there to pick up his car, he decided it was the perfect opportunity to collect what was due. Chapter 28. The completion of the sanctuary. After parking his scooter at the entrance of the dealership, Lin Yi dismounted, and Su Ying greeted him with a radiant smile, her right hand unconsciously brushing through her long hair. Such small gestures are the most effective at stirring a man's heart. Today, Su Ying seemed to have made a special effort with her appearance. Her makeup was far more exquisite than during their last encounter. Clothing has ceased to be merely work attire. She has donned her own garments, the ever-constant black stockings adorning her legs. She vividly recalls how Lin Yi had persistently gazed at her legs during their last encounter, as she had arrived with a purpose, naturally inclined to appeal to his preferences. The upper half of her attire consisted of a crisp white shirt, with only the top 2 buttons left unfastened, allowing a subtle bend to reveal the 2 pristine curves within. Although Lin Yi's primary focus lay predominantly on his beloved vehicle, his peripheral vision instinctively darted towards Su Ying. Satisfied that her intentions had been realized, Su Ying mused to herself, Men, a high-profile individual like Lin Yi, with his affluence and good looks, is a rare find. Despite her daily endeavor of selling cars, men of such caliber are exceedingly uncommon. Having encountered such a man, she felt compelled to seize the opportunity. Recognizing that a career in sales was not a sustainable path, and the prospect of being supported by a handsome benefactor was enticing. However, she remained oblivious to the fact that Lin Yi had recently dispatched his own lover. Had she known, she would have surely distanced herself from him. As Lin Yi gazed upon the metallic behemoth before him, he could scarcely contain his exhilaration as he took his seat. Su Ying, occupying the passenger seat, had but one mission for the day: to keep Lin Yi company. with the roar of the engine. A surge of exhilaration coursed through Lin Yi as the car sped onto the road. While driving through the city, Xue unabashedly showcased her figure, her gaze towards Lin Yi nearly palpable with desire. After meandering through the urban landscape a couple of times, Lin Yi made his way back to his hotel. Unable to resist Xue Ying's relentless allure, even a man of steel would find it challenging to withstand. Upon parking the car, Lin Yi grasped Xue Ying's hand and led her upstairs. The following morning, as Lin Yi rubbed his somewhat sore back, he reflected on the recent strain he had endured. His days were filled with labor, and nights were no less demanding. Beside him, Xue Ying remained in slumber. After gently covering her with the blanket, Lin Yi surveyed the scattered remnants of torn stockings and undergarments strewn across the floor before stepping outside. Today was a significant day, as his new residence was finally completed. The previous day, Luo Jun had informed him of the matter, urging him to come for an inspection, but he had been too enraptured in Xue Ying's embrace to comply, thus postponing his visit to today. As Lin Yi drove his newly acquired car towards the Sichuan community, he arrived at the entrance where several security personnel, upon seeing the luxury vehicle, waved him through without inquiry. Parking the car, he ascended in the elevator to the 26th floor. Upon the elevator doors opening, he beheld a massive alloy door on the left, towering nearly 3 meters high and stretching to the ceiling. Its width approached 2 meters, dwarfing the doors of his neighbors. Reminiscent of a grandfather before his grandchild, Lin Yi knocked on the door, and Luo Jun promptly opened it. Satisfied, Lin Yi nodded at the lock's mechanism. The lock featured 3 types: a fingerprint scanner, a traditional key entry, and the most archaic of mechanisms, a latch lock. Moreover, the thickness of the door measures an impressive 20 centimeters, constructed from advanced alloys that far surpass ordinary steel. Its fortitude is several times that of steel. Additionally, Luo Jun, adhering to Lin Yi's specifications, designed several gun ports on the door that can only be opened from within, and equipped it with 2 flamethrowers. With merely the addition of gasoline to a container on the door, it becomes operational. Beyond the grand entrance, the walls of each room have been replaced with alloy panels, and the exterior has been repainted with latex, ensuring that even if the building were to be blasted, the structural integrity of each room would remain unaltered. The fireplace in the living room is connected to a duct system, allowing heat to be distributed throughout the various rooms merely by adding firewood. One of the bedrooms has been transformed into a storage space, housing a generator and a water tank among other items. Furthermore, an air filtration system has been installed in the room, ensuring a continuous flow of air while effectively keeping external toxic gases at bay. Even if someone were to ignite a fire at Lin Yi's doorstep, he would remain oblivious to any trace of smoke within his home. Lastly, at Lin Yi's strong insistence, a comprehensive surveillance system has been implemented throughout the building, with Luo Jun installing 200 pinhole cameras, each directed at the entrance of a household. Lin Yi need only turn on the television to view the feed. Building number 16, where Lin Yi resides, comprises 3 units, with a corridor on the 6th floor that connects to the other units, each containing 56 households. Including Lin Yi's own residence, there are a total of 168 households. Now, he can observe the activities of the entire building without stepping outside. After thoroughly experiencing the setup, Lin Yi signed the delivery receipt, and provided no subsequent issues arise, he would transfer the final payment to the Tianli Protection Company's account in 3 months. Once Luo Jun departed, Lin Yi secured the door and reset the password and fingerprint lock, transforming the abode into his private sanctuary. He resolved not to permit anyone else entry, and he deemed it unnecessary to stay at the hotel any longer. Lin Yi switched on the television to check the surveillance, ultimately pausing the feed at the door of Wang Xue's residence. Adjusting the video forward, he observed that the 3 of them had not left recently, only venturing out to retrieve takeout. It appeared they were still fearful that Xu Shuai's case might implicate them, opting instead to lay low until the conclusion of his sentencing. This suited Lin Yi perfectly, with the apocalypse looming just over a week away. If they did not venture out to stockpile supplies, they might not survive even half a month without succumbing to starvation. Ultimately, they would have to seek his assistance. However, this time, Lin Yi resolved not to show any mercy. While he might allow them to observe, he would not provide sustenance. Seated on the spacious sofa, Lin Yi suddenly felt a pang of boredom. As he contemplated watching television, he recalled a crucial resource he had yet to procure: movies and television series. Who knows how long this heavy snowfall would persist? If it extended into the next year or beyond without any form of entertainment, he would surely be driven to despair. Upon contemplating this, Lin Yi methodically unlocked the door, and after a minute, he finally pulled it open and stepped outside. Chapter 29. Purchasing seafood. Lin Yi drove to a nearby electronics market, where he discovered a store selling gaming consoles. Without hesitation, he acquired every brand of gaming machine available, in addition to over 1,000 game cartridges. Subsequently, He visited an audiovisual shop and requested the owner to download all the films, television series, and various entertainment programs from their inventory. In total, Lin Yi expended over $1,000,000 to procure these items, with the game cartridges alone costing him 200,000 to 300,000. The gaming machines were even more expensive, with some priced at several tens of thousands, thus completely reshaping Lin Yi's understanding of value. Previously indifferent to gaming, he had never engaged with such devices. Today, he had truly broadened his horizons. After loading the items into his vehicle in batches, Lin Yi discreetly stored everything in his alternate space. Gazing at the remaining millions in his account, he experienced the unfamiliar sensation of wealth with an abundance of choices, feeling somewhat wasteful if he didn't spend it all, as these were hard-earned resources. Lin Yi then entered a seafood store. Although he had already purchased a variety of meat and vegetables, he realized he had not adequately prepared for seafood, intending to allocate the entirety of his remaining funds for this purpose. Upon entering the shop, Lin Yi was greeted by a plethora of seafood varieties, with dozens of large tanks lined up on either side, each supplying oxygen to the aquatic creatures within. Massive lobsters and king crabs clawed about inside their confines. The shop owner, noticing Lin Yi's arrival, promptly inquired, "Sir, what would you like?" Lin Yi surveyed the seafood and replied, "I wish to purchase a significant quantity of lobsters and king crabs. Are you able to facilitate this?" The owner, momentarily taken aback, responded, "How much would you like?" Lin Yi held up 5 fingers and stated, "I require 5 million worth of goods, all of which must be fresh." "Certainly, I will make the necessary arrangements. However, I must charge a small intermediary fee. Would that be acceptable to you?" The owner replied. Lin Yi nodded, "That is fine. I am willing to provide you with 100,000 as a fee for your services." Upon hearing this, the shop owner immediately perked up and made a phone call, realizing a profit of 100,000 with minimal effort. Shortly thereafter, he hung up, having already contacted his suppliers to arrange for the delivery of 5 million worth of lobsters, abalones, and other premium seafood to his store the following day. However, Lin Yi was required to pay a deposit of 3 million yuan first, to ensure he was not merely toying with him. Lin Yi produced his bank card and transferred the 3 million deposit before departing from the seafood store. The next day at noon, while enjoying a steak at home, Lin Yi received a call from the seafood shop owner, informing him that the seafood had been prepared and was ready for delivery, all of it fresh. Lin Yi provided his home address for the items to be sent directly. Although the seafood vendor was curious as to why such a plethora of live seafood was being delivered to a residence, he resolutely adhered to Lin Yi's instructions. Bolstered by the intermediary fee, before long, 3 refrigerated trucks arrived at the community, a sight the security personnel at the entrance had grown accustomed to. Recently, numerous trucks had been transporting items to Lin Yi's home, and the property manager, Wang Xue, had already communicated with them to ensure that Lin Yi was not inconvenienced. Consequently, as long as they reported Lin Yi's name, they were granted passage without question. This exemplifies the adage that wealth can smooth over obstacles. As long as Lin Yi was willing to spend, those hindrances would readily yield. Once the vehicles parked downstairs, 7 or 8 workers descended to begin transporting the goods into Lin Yi's residence. They toiled for over 2 hours to move all the seafood into Lin Yi's bedroom. Meanwhile, the nearby square was teeming with strollers, who gaped in astonishment at the sheer quantity of seafood Lin Yi had procured. What on earth was he planning? Was he transforming his home into a seafood warehouse? Who knows, perhaps he was simply indulging in his wealth. Given the sweltering heat, it would not be long before the lobsters and abalones perished, a true waste indeed. Wang Xue emerged from his office, his eyes gleaming at the sight of such exquisite seafood. He picked up a king crab and 2 large lobsters, intending to leave with them. He believed that taking a few items would be seen as a courtesy to Lin Yi, given Lin Yi's nature. He might even lament that Wang Xue had taken too few and later send him 2 boxes in return. However, the staff monitoring the vehicles were not in agreement, as they were unfamiliar with Wang Xue's identity. With the items being taken without proper authorization, they would be held accountable for any discrepancies. Thus, they promptly intercepted Wang Xue. "Apologies, sir, but these items belong to our client. You cannot take them." Wang Xue regarded the man in work attire with a hint of disdain. He replied slowly, "It's merely Lin Yi's. Just inform him that Wang Xue is taking them, and he won't dare to cause you any trouble." The man hesitated, uncertain of the relationship between this individual and their client, and could only call Lin Yi. Lin Yi was currently overseeing the movement of goods upstairs when he received the call informing him that Wang Xue was attempting to take his possessions. Without a trace of mercy, he activated the speakerphone and retorted, "Wang Xue, are you a bandit or a beggar? Whose belongings do you think you can just take? Have some shame and put down my items immediately. Those lobsters are worth over 3,000. Be careful I don't call the police and have you arrested, you scoundrel." Wang Xue was taken aback by Lin Yi's merciless response over the phone. Just a few days prior, Lin Yi had been deferential, discreetly slipping him 20,000 yuan. How had his demeanor shifted so rapidly? Moreover, with the phone on speaker, a crowd had gathered, listening intently to Lin Yi's elevated voice. The scornful glances and laughter from the onlookers made Fang Hu acutely aware of his humiliation. Just as he contemplated a retort, he realized Lin Yi had already hung up. With no other option, he reluctantly set the items down and left in a disheartened manner. However, deep within his heart, he had already etched this grudge, resolutely vowing that he would make Lin Yi pay dearly whenever the opportunity arose. The commotion downstairs naturally caught the attention of Wang Xue and her companions, and the well-meaning neighbors had promptly shared the recent events in the owners group of Building 16. Upon seeing that this incident was somehow related to Lin Yi, Wang Xue and her friends were taken aback. It seemed that Lin Yi was always at the center of turmoil lately. How could he be involved in everything? Moreover, it was rumored that Lin Yi had purchased several million worth of seafood in one go. Truly affluent. Although Su Shuai was also wealthy, his fortune came from his parents. And to curb his excessive spending, he only received a modest allowance each month. In comparison to Lin Yi, his wealth seemed utterly insignificant. Chapter 30. The Cambrian Period. The dawn of apocalypse. After settling the final payment, Lin Yi hurriedly stored the seafood from his bedroom into the alternate space before the ice could melt. However, after several attempts, he realized there was no response. It dawned on him that since the seafood was still alive, he could not use his consciousness to transfer them into the alternate space. Thus, he altered his approach, opening the portal on the ground and began tossing the seafood into it, box by box. After a flurry of activity lasting over 10 minutes, the seafood in his bedroom was finally cleared. Lin Yi projected his consciousness into the alternate space and discovered that the life forms of the seafood had been completely immobilized. He retrieved a large lobster, only to find that while its physical body still exhibited signs of life, its spirit had perished, akin to a living corpse. This confirmed for him that living beings could not be stored in the alternate space. Locking the door behind him, Lin Yi planned to remain indoors for the next few days. He had already stored his car in the alternate space ahead of time, outfitted with the finest snow tires, capable of traversing snowy terrain. Now, everything was in place, awaiting the impending snowfall. He connected the gaming console he had purchased to the television and embraced a life of seclusion. His days were filled with eating, drinking, and gaming, with occasional workouts. His alternate space contained various fitness equipment he had taken from the warehouse, all high-end brands, making for a rather comfortable existence. During this time, Wang Xue called him twice, inviting him out, her hints evolving into explicit requests. Yet, Lin Yi declined her invitations outright, eventually ignoring her calls altogether. As the days passed, they finally arrived at June 30th, 2060. Lin Yi watched the seconds tick away on his phone, feeling increasingly restless throughout the day. He was uncertain whether his rebirth would alter the course of the impending apocalypse due to the butterfly effect. His emotions were a tapestry of anticipation, anxiety, excitement, and concern. As midnight approached, only an hour remained until the cataclysm was set to unfold. Lin Yi brought a recliner to the floor-to-ceiling window, placing a bottle of beer and 2 plates of snacks on the nearby coffee table. He had already kindled a fire in the fireplace in preparation. Lin Yi cast a glance at the thermometer mounted on the wall, noting that the indoor temperature had risen to a sweltering 30 degrees Celsius. Given that it was summer, the average nighttime temperature hovered around 20 degrees, and coupled with Lin Yi's fireplace, the room had become increasingly stifling. A fine sheen of perspiration had formed on his brow, yet he remained unfazed, his gaze fixed intently upon the sky outside. As the clock approached 1 o'clock, a sense of urgency began to envelop him. His grip on the beer bottle tightened, turning his knuckles pale. A minute later, Lin Yi stared blankly at the still pitch-black night outside. Could it be that his rebirth had somehow averted the impending apocalypse? While he was lost in thought, a streak of white light appeared at the horizon, streaking across the sky like a meteor. Moments later, a blinding radiance erupted, rendering Lin Yi momentarily unable to open his eyes. The brilliance was fleeting, vanishing within seconds. Time passed, and snowflakes began to drift from the heavens. Initially, it was but a gentle flurry, but as moments turned into minutes, the snowfall intensified, with the flakes swelling from the size of droplets to that of bottle caps, drastically reducing visibility to a mere 3 meters. The indoor temperature plummeted sharply, descending from over 30 degrees to the mid-20s. Lin Yi hastily added a few more logs to the fireplace, stoking the flames until the thermometer stabilized at 25 degrees, a temperature he particularly favored. Frost began to form at the corners of the floor-to-ceiling windows, and as Lin Yi reclined in his chair, he gazed at the snowy landscape before him, enveloped in a comforting sense of security. Checking his phone, he found that, as in his previous life, the group chat was in utter chaos. The sudden drop in temperature had jolted many from their slumber, prompting a flurry of complaints about the dreadful weather. Some night owls had noticed the recent flash of light, yet they dismissed it as inconsequential. It's only a few months into the year, and we're already seeing snow? Is there some injustice at play? What nonsense. Have you been watching too much television? With snow this heavy, will we even have school tomorrow? As for school, I can't say, but I just saw a notice in our company group stating we are expected to work as usual. Damn those capitalists. The chat was filled with a plethora of trivial chatter, and Lin Yi, losing interest, scrolled through until he stumbled upon a message from Jiang Shuyan that piqued his curiosity. In his previous life, Jiang Shuyan had not resided in the community, but surprisingly, this time, her presence had lingered due to his influence. Lin Yi's suspicions proved correct. She was initially slated for an assignment in another city, but due to a theft at the Fuyuan supermarket's warehouse, the police of Haijing City were working around the clock to locate the missing supplies. With manpower already stretched thin, she had not been dispatched elsewhere. However, Lin Yi felt no urgency. He preferred she experience some hardship outdoors first, for otherwise, she would never truly grasp the rarity and value of what he had provided her. The group chat buzzed with excitement, yet there was a palpable lack of urgency among the participants, who regarded the temperature drop as merely a typical weather change. Lin Yi switched off his phone and drew the curtains closed. Reducing the firewood in the fireplace, he then slipped into his velvet quilt clad in his pajamas. The following day, Lin Yi did not awaken until 8 o'clock in the morning. The first thing he did upon opening his eyes was to approach the floor-to-ceiling windows and draw back the curtains. Outside, heavy snow continued to fall. And after a night's accumulation, the first floor had already been engulfed by the snow to a considerable extent. Some individuals in the group, possessing a sense of urgency, had already formed teams to venture out in search of supplies. In his previous life, Lin Yi had worried for Wang Xue, fearing she would have nothing to eat, prompting him to join them on a similar expedition where he procured 2 bags of food. He had generously given one of the bags to Wang Xue, which enabled her group to endure for a month. This time, however, their fortune appeared to have waned. Without Lin Yi's assistance and lacking the habit of stockpiling provisions, they would likely find themselves facing hunger within a week. Lin Yi retrieved a pair of binoculars, observing as several individuals below struggled to exit the community's building. The snow had accumulated to nearly a meter in depth, and the temperature had plummeted to minus 30 degrees Celsius. While the endeavor was indeed arduous, those willing to brave the elements could still return safely with food. Regrettably, many opted to wait and see, believing that it would not be long before the snowfall ceased. At most, they reasoned, they could remain indoors for 2 days, and it would not be too late to venture out once the snow had abated.